Hello and welcome to Solo Playthroughs. We have something else I need to say for the second time in my Solo Playthroughs career. And hello, welcome to Solo Playthroughs. Another exciting day today as I have to say something for the second time I've had to say in my Solo Playthroughs career. Review copy sent to me. Yes, it was. David Thompson, the designer, and DVG, I believe is Dan Viersen Games, resent me a review copy of Pavlov's House. It is a fairly well-known solo game, especially in the war game community, and it's very, very cool. It's yeah, I don't know, maybe I'm more of a war gamer than I thought as I start getting into some of these games. Honestly, the first time war games really got on my radar in a very real sense, I'm not counting TWAM, and I know that, yeah, I guess I could kind of loosely fit into a war genre, not necessarily a war game by my understanding of the definitions, but was when somebody commented on one of my Dawn of the Zeds videos and was like, Herman Luttman is actually a really well-known war game designer. And I heard about Pavlov's House and saw it, I guess 3-minute board games featured it on their top solo game list, and it popped up on a few other lists, and was really excited to get a copy of this and play it, get it on a channel. Really been testing it out a bunch, got to a place where I think I can do it some justice to the video, so here we are. And again, really appreciative to DVG and to David Thompson for making this happen. Now, in playing this, it was funny because I was like, we all know how much I gush about Dawn of the Zeds, and I was like, oh yeah, I see this. I see the war game background of Herman Luttman coming out even as I was exploring this game. This game is fairly accessible, but a lot of interesting strategic decisions. And one of the things that normally wouldn't work for me. I mean, this feels a little bit like beat your own scorer, but it's not. But it kind of is, and we'll kind of get to that as we go. But the opportunity to score, when you take that chance to score, you are decidedly making yourself weaker in other aspects of the game. And that's a really interesting strategic point of like, all right, do I try to score now? Do I not? And you need to score. If you score between 0 and 9 points, or 1 and 9 points, I believe it becomes a draw and you tie. And if you score more than 9 points, you win. So, and then there's like gradients of winning and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that's really a fascinating part of the game. And I guess like other game, like Gaia Project, are you chasing points? Are you trying to build your engine? I mean, I guess like that kind of idea isn't totally novel, but it's so clear in this game, like what's happening when you try to score, and what you're risking, what you're giving up in trying to score some points, right? And we'll kind of go through that. So there are several modes of play here. There's just the base game. Then there's the base game with these operational supports cards, which are, again, ways to score a little bit extra points here and there, but they do take actions. It's not a ton, but it takes an action that you could be doing on something else. And it also, you have to lose some potential resources from your stock, and we'll get into what all those tokens are. Then there are other cards that you can add that will actually make some of the German counters harder. So I haven't really explored that too much. So that would be the next time I get this game on the channel, we'll do some of that. And then I guess there's like some kind of elite advanced mode, which hopefully I will aspire to get there one day. So, but I think this would be a good challenge, a good introduction to the game for the channel, and we'll go from there. So what's going on in Pavlov's House, right? What's up with this board? Why do I have 3 boards that look like they don't really go together other than like art style? Well, this is a cool look at a very, from what I understand, an important part of the Battle of Stalingrad. And it was when the Russian, a very undermanned and overmatched group of Russian soldiers in a house owned by a dude named Pavlov. I think it was like a boarding house or a hotel or something like that. It wasn't just like a little rinky-dink row home. It was like actually a established property. They basically, these forces joined up in this house, and they fought off a mass of German soldiers and infantry and tanks that were trying to overtake them, and ended up, based on what they did, managed to hold on to Stalingrad against the Germans in the pivotal part of the war. Now, any history buffs that can correct any of that, please do put that in the comments. I am not a history buff by any means, but from what I understand, what David Thompson did is he took these little moments that had big significance in World War II, and he has turned some of them into games. And this is one of that series, and it's really, really remarkably done. And what you have in this battle now is you have three forms. You have the form of what's happening inside the house, and this is where you have the Soviet counters, and they're going to be in different places, and they're going to do gunfire attacks against the infantry. And there's some anti-tank guys you can get out there, and then there's some commanders that will help the others recover, and all this stuff going on. And they can put suppression shells here so we can try to shoot the infantry as they approach the house. There's a whole bunch of things that go on this forum. Then you have the street view, right? So here you have this building is now here, and you have these 6 lanes of attack from the Germans, and there's different colors. The colors just represent point of view, right? So if you're standing in this part of the house, you basically will be able to take a shot at anyone over here, because that's the east side of the house. You have that point of view. You can see what's going on. If you had a Soviet counter there, well, that's red and purple, so he could actually see, what's happening on the north of the house and what's happening on the east of the house. And then if you had a Soviet counter there, well, that Soviet counter could see what's happening on the north of the house and on the west side of the house. So a lot of that's really, really intuitive, and it's really, really well done. And then you have the colors which kind of match, right? So the west side of the house here matches to the green tracks here, the red, the north side of the house matches to the red, and then again the purple, as I've already said. So you have these forms, and then you have these the German infantry, and you have the German tanks. Now I will say right off the bat, they don't use German in the game. I do not know enough of World War II history to understand why, but they call it the Wehrmacht cards. Now, I am half German. My ability to pronounce anything in German is really bad. So I will say the German counters. And again, if that's super wrong, somebody put a comment. Please, I am open to correction always on this channel. So you could always put that in the comment section below. But these German tanks and these German infantry will start gathering up on these various tracks. And if something else ends on a track, they will keep moving down, and something else ends up on that track. At any point, if either an infantry or a tank get into the house, game over. So we need to really manage those tracks, and that you are kind of, a little bit at the mercy of the dice, because where these things will be placed, these cards will come up to say to place one of them, you'll roll a die, and then it's all right, well, 6, we have to put a German unit there, right? And then they'll kind of determine what tracks, where you want to position your guys in the house. That's like all really intimately related. Now, what's this last form? So if this is the house, this is the street view, this is more of like the region, and you see the house marked here like this. You have these little inlays, right? So this part of what's going on is really here, but up and down the coast on either side of this river, you have the various parts of the Russian armed forces that are providing support to Pavlov's house. And in this forum, this offers you a bunch of really interesting strategic decisions that we'll get into pretty quickly in this game, because the game really actually does move from right to center to left, which is fine. I've just explained it kind of backwards. So I started with the micro, I went to the macro, and over here you have these different, this is your command. If these start, you'll have planes that will drop bombs, and they're going to bomb certain areas. So if your command gets messed up, you get the fog of war. You have these anti-aircraft spots, which you can put with different tokens there, and they're going to try to shoot down the planes. You have this another spot there, some kind of artillery, but then you also have the supply chain, because you have to get things into the house. And here you have the military flotilla. So you're going to be able to put things in the staging area, and then these guys are going to try to sneak in resources into Pavlov's house through whatever series of tunnels or whatever they have that allows us to get stuff to the men on the front lines in the building, right? So it's a lot of things going on. It really comes together super nicely. We will try to do it justice today. Here we go. We will start just as far as setup. We have these suppression tokens. Again, suppression tokens will be placed here, and then they're going to help kind of keep some of the infantry away by people actually, again, thematically firing at them as they approach the forum. We're also going to have 2 food tokens. So the food tokens are just 3 droplets of water, which is fine. So we have 2 food rations to start the game. We have 10 of those suppression tokens. We start with Pavlov, Alexandrov, and Chernogolov, and Goshenko in the house. So these are your starting units. They have the little white box in the corner, so you know which those 4 are. And all of these counters have different stats. On the left is their fight stat. So if you had him here and he was trying to attack, you would roll a die, and then that would determine whether you defeat it. Obviously, a 2 wouldn't defeat really anybody. And then the other stat you have is suppression. So if I was going to exhaust this counter, I could put a suppression token on the corresponding color where he was at. If he was here, I could do it in the red or the purple. Then you have certain attributes. The only Soviet counter that you start with that has an attribute is Pavlov himself. Pavlov has not only a command attribute, which allows him to help other counters to recover, as we'll see. He also has a storm attribute, which means that he can be part of special raids that leave Pavlov's house and go somewhere else to thematically try to do other things that the Soviets wanted to get done during the war. Practically, in this game purposes, allows you to get opportunities to get points. You'll have 3 such opportunities during the game, and then 1 last opportunity to do a storm at the end of the game. And we'll kind of see how that plays out. All right, so what do we need to do to set up? Again, these are all, I have a bunch of these, there's 30 of these markers just chilling here. We have different weapons. We have some anti-tank weapons. We have some anti-artillery weapons. We have a mortar, which helps with suppression tokens. So that's all kind of chilling. We'll be able to deploy those as we go, and you'll see how that works out. We have all of our German counters. We have 4 different kinds of tanks, 3 different kinds of not artillery. I've been saying artillery. I don't know what I've been saying. 3 different kinds of infantry. Yeah, clearly a war gamer here, guys. Know exactly what's going on. Cool. And then we have these. These are all the German cards. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to shuffle these up, and we're going to stack the various sections of this deck on top of themselves. Now, each section of these decks, we're going to go through them. You go through every single German card. There's no variability in that. Like, you know the German deck going into every game. It's always the same except for the order. The only, oops, drop that. Make sure I got all the 4s. Yeah. So the only difference is that there's 6 of these cards. Now, these are some of your resupply cards. These are going to determine what kind of storms that you would do, and we're going to put 3 of those into the deck, and there's 6 of them there, right? So I'm going to shuffle these up, and these 4 are going to go right on top. So, and the interesting about all these sections is that it will always work out to be a multiple of 3. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Why is that not a multiple of 3 yet? Well, we have to add this card on top. So these will come out in a very regimented order that you'll just get used to as you go, right? The other thing you'll notice is the back of this card is different. Now, obviously, I have these sleeved up. You know, that is what the card really looks like, but I put them in black sleeves. This is going to go on top, so you'll know when this is coming up. And that's true whether you sleeved it or where you didn't. You will always know when the resupply is coming up, and it's kind of an important fact for you to have, right? So I'm going to put the stage 4 cards there. I'm going to roll a die. I rolled a 5. We're going to put this resupply card on top. I'm going to shuffle the stage 3 cards. I'm going to put that on top. I'm going to roll a die. I rolled a 3, so this goes on top. I'm going to get the stage 2 cards, and I rolled a 5. Not helpful. There's only 4 cards left. I'm going to get the 4, put that on top, and I'm going to shuffle the stage 1 cards. Now, there's only 9 stage 1 cards. We know that 4 of them are basically bombers, like airplanes, German airplanes that are going to bomb various parts of this forum, and that's going to be a problem for us. So we are going to want to try to prevent some of that, and we'll see how that works out. I'm going to cause an earthquake around Pavlov's house. We're going to set that up. All right, so we got the German deck set. We're going to get these resupply cards out of the game. We're just not going to use them in this game. The only other thing we need to set, you see this operational support box. Now, again, this says it's an optional variant. It seems like, again, there's a place on it on the board. I mean, it seems pretty kind of baked into how this game is supposed to work, and it's just like another little side thing that's part of the game. So there's 8 of these, 7 of these cards, 8 of these cards, yeah, 8 of these cards. We're going to put 1 face up in that location, and that is the Barricade Factory. So if their 3 forms are not disrupted, and that's, so if this isn't disrupted, it's number 18 on the board, or 62, I guess the military unit 62. If that's not disrupted, if this isn't disrupted, this area, and if the military flotilla is not disrupted, then we can remove some of these tokens from stock. There are zappers, there are food, there are medical and ammunition. We remove 1 token of each from stock, and then we would get 4 points at the end of the game. If we were to choose to do that, then we just put another operational support card. But we can't just willy-nilly choose to do that. We need to have a very specific card that will allow us that opportunity, and that's where these cards come in. Now, you notice these cards have two halves. Looks a little bit like Gloomhaven. It's like top and bottom. But in that sense, instead of choosing the top and the bottom, when you choose a card, you choose the top or the bottom when you choose a card. So you have some interesting strategic decisions as these cards come out. And interspersed to start the game, you have 3 of these cards called Fog of War. Now, you might have more of those Fog of Wars added. You'll see how that works out, almost guaranteed. But you only start with 3, and then as you pull these cards, you'll be able to choose to do 3 actions. Again, you just can't choose 2 actions from the same card. And all those actions we'll kind of explain as we go, and hopefully we'll be able to explain everything in the first couple of turns and just kind of play from there. Definitely more as a play as you go guy. I'm not I'm not Mr. Tutorial, I'm Mr. Playthroughs. That's what happens, kids. So I'm going to shuffle the Soviet cards, and we will basically cycle through this a couple of times, 2 or 3 times. Well, at least 3, I think at least 3 times throughout the course of this game. And we'll go from there. So we're going to put this here, and let's start with turn number 1. So first step of the game is, oh, by the way, so also what we have over here is these 3 sides of this house will be attacked at various points during the game. And we have put 3 tokens on the 6th space. Now that is the current defense of that part of the house. I assure you that those shields will start to come down as the Germans start to attack the house. There are ways to get shield back, and we'll explain that. You just kind of have to I'll work on that and try to set that up as you go. So I have 4 cards here. So I had got none of my Fog of War cards, and we got a nice array of different options here. So the 62nd Army Command Plot, or command post, that is the action that you will most often have to do to get points. You will have to do that action to either satisfy an operational support card. You will also have to do that action if you want to send a number of the Soviet counters in Pavlov's house to do a storm on a storm group. All right, so you'll see how that plays out. We have the 13th Guard Rifle Division Command Post. That is how you get more of these counters and more of these weapons into the reserves within Pavlov's house. It gives you a certain number of points to spend. The points, you have these little pips at the bottom of all these counters. So that's 2 pips, 1, 2, 3. So you can spend 6 points to put stuff into the reserve section on the house. You have both of the bottom actions here, the 139th Signal Battalion. The Signal Battalion is obviously the communications part of what's going on here, the communications part of the Soviet operation. So if you ever get all 4 of these filled with these dudes, you would actually be able to choose 4 different actions a turn. Now, obviously, if you have a Fog of War card, you're still only choosing 3 anyway, but it gives you some more flexibility. And if that's disrupted, that could be really bad for you. The 32nd Guards Artillery Regiment. So if you ever have a token here, if you get a certain kind of counter into Pavlov's house, you can expend this to try to do some attacks on various Soviet units here. The 267th Separate Anti-Aircraft Battalion. You could put these tokens here. You can remove one of those tokens to roll dice to try to shoot down some planes before they do any damage. And then finally, on the bottom of this is the only action we haven't talked about, is the Vlaga Military Flotilla. So what is the military flotilla? Well, when we get things into the staging area, we can use that. We have to do it twice in 2 different steps. So 1, we can take tokens that are in the staging area, put them in a flotilla. So say I have 2 zappers and a water here, or a food, I could put them here. And then if I had another military flotilla, I can do that action to take those off of there and move it here. Now, what happens if the Germans have any of that disrupted? Well, obviously, I'm going to have to take some of those tokens off, which brings me to the next point. Well, how do I get these tokens off? As the Germans start bombing different areas, these things are going to start to pop up. These are the disruption tokens. Well, I could do an action on the 139th just to remove a disruption token. So you'll see a lot of that as well. So it's not always adding things, sometimes it's removing things. And when you add a thing, the benefit is, say I have a token on 14, what happens if the Germans are actually going to try to bomb 14? Well, instead of putting a disruption token, if a token's already there, you just remove the token that's there. So I know I'm kind of talking in throwing a lot out here, just kind of going through the rules, and then as we play, you'll kind of see how this plays out a little bit more. Just kind of trying to explain some of what I'm about to do before I go too nuts. Now, the 62nd Army Command Post, one thing I didn't say is the 62nd Army Command Post normally is going to allow you to get some points, but alternatively, it also is the action that you're going to need to use to get some of the items from stock into the staging area. So that could be a really helpful thing to keep in mind as well. These are just action tokens. They track how many actions that you've taken. They're mostly designed to put on Soviet counters when Pavlov's house. I also use them in the Soviet card section to track how many actions that I've done. So I do want to get some more items in the staging area. So I'm going to get, from the stock, right, I'm going to get 1 ammunition token, 2 zappers. So you get 5 of these tokens. So this is as part of the action. So I get 5 of these tokens to put in the staging area. I'm going to get that and 2. I'll put 2 zappers, 3. I'll put another water, another food. We're going to get this into the staging area. All right. So those 5 tokens just chill there. Now I have some other possibilities. I'm going to do the 13th Guard Rifle Division Command Post, and I like to get my man Chekhov into the action early. So he cost all 6 of those pips. He's extraordinarily strong. He can fight at infantry by rolling 4 dice. I'm a big fan. And then finally, so I have 3 different options for this last. I can try to do anti-aircraft. I can try to do the artillery. Doing this right now doesn't make too much sense. I could try to do the flotilla, get those suckers on there, but let's try to shoot down some planes. I'm going to do an anti-aircraft token, put that there, and that ends the Soviet card phase of this turn. Cool, moving on. We're going to do the German card phase. So we're going to pull off the top 3 cards of this deck. They're all stage 1 cards, and we're going to resolve these one at a time. So first, Junkers Ju-87 Bomb Stalingrad. How could you? So look, what this card has a couple pieces of information, right? So obviously it's a stage 1 card here. There are 3 planes that are now flying over Stalingrad. They're going to try to bomb it. It also shows the shield value for these planes is a 4. So there are 3 of those planes. I'm going to expend this aircraft token that I just put on the board, and I get to roll 2 dice. Now we know the airplane's value, the shield is a 4. So if either of these dice is a 4 or higher, I'm going to shoot down a plane. If both of them are a 4 or higher, I get to shoot down 2 planes. So I'm going to roll, I roll a 4 and a 1. So that 3 we know now becomes a 2. So I only have 2 planes that are about to bomb Stalingrad. Each plane is going to roll 3 dice. So the first plane that survived my anti-aircraft assault is going to roll. That plane rolls an 11. So we take a disruption token and we put it on top of the 11 because there was no token there to absorb that. And then the second plane is going to go. We're going to roll. I rolled a 12. So we're going to put a disruption token up here in that spot on the board. So now you have 2 disruption tokens. Now, if I roll, say I get another airplane, if I roll an 11 or 12, you will keep moving up until you find a space that's open or that doesn't have a disruption token, right? So I will keep kind of moving up the line. If you get disruption tokens all the way up to the 18 and then you roll and you have to put another disruption token and there's already one on the 18, you lose. So you do need to start managing those as the game goes. Then again, how do you manage them? Again, you can use different cards to pull them off the board, as I was explaining a little bit earlier. Great. 10 SCM LEFH 18, 171st Artillery, RGMT. Man, somebody, like military guys, have to be cringing right now. I'm sorry, I'm the worst. 715 T10. We're going to attack the building. So I'm going to roll a die. So it's a 4. Now that's the dice value. So we know that it's going to attack the building. It's going to attack with 4 dice. Well, what part of the building is it attacking? Well, it's either going to be any 3 of these sides, depending on what I roll now. I roll 1 die, I roll a 6. So it's attacking the purple part of the building, the east side of the building. I'm rolling 4 dice. And are any of these dice a 6? There is. So our shield was a 6. Our defense value was a 6, I should say. But since I rolled a 6, our defense value is now a 5. So this is going to go down and down and down. If it ever gets to a 3 and we roll, and I roll, and there's another attack of the building and I roll a 3 or higher, at that point, Any units that are there are going to get disrupted as well. They're going to get these tokens. If they already have a disruption token, the second disruption token would kill them. So you need to be careful and try to keep this defense as high, above a 3 if at all possible. All right. Finally, what are we doing? We have another Junkers. We're bombing Stalingrad. I have no more anti-aircraft abilities, so we're going to roll 3 dice 3 times because there are 3 planes on this card as well. The planes are attacking 11. So we have a disruption token at 11. We have a disruption token at 12. And now we have a disruption token at 13. Rolling again. I rolled a 10. We put a disruption token on 10. And rolling one more time. And I rolled that's a good roll. I rolled an 8. Had I had to put a disruption token on any of these, 14 through 17, we would have to add a fog of war into our pile. And obviously when we go back through, it just makes your Soviet card deck that much less efficient. So next turn, I'm going to want to try to clear out some of these disruption tokens if at all possible. We'll see what options I have in the next Soviet card phase. Now we get to the third phase. It's the Soviet counter phase. So first and second phase, most of this happens here and here. So first phase, most of it happens here. Second phase, most of it happens like here and here combined. Third phase, all happens in the house. So I have 3 movement that I can move before I do anything. So when you start the game, now you can get a 4th if you get all 3 of your command elite team. So you have 3 of these counters that have this letter C. We only start the game with 1 guy with a command, and then of course that is Pavlov himself. So I can move 3 of these units into place anywhere in the house. I'm going to move Pavlov into the number 3 is tight. Obviously with the 3 tracks and only 4 spaces to attack from, the red is the hardest to kind of keep clean. I would normally put Pavlov on the west side of the building, but I've already lost the defense. So I want to be a little careful with him there. So I'm going to put him on the east side of the building in number 5. I'm going to put, no, I'm not even going to put him out yet. I'm going to put Alexandrov in number 6 in the radio, and we'll see what that does. And I'm going to put Glashenko and Chernogolov, I'll put them in 3 and 3 respectively. And that's fine. I like to keep I'm not sure if this is totally the proper strategy, but the way I found it works for me, I like to keep my units at around 5 for the first few turns, but I'll use a radio for some other things, which will be fine. Yeah, so those are the 3 units that I've moved, and now we can go ahead and we can do some actions. So I'm going to exhaust Alexandrov to do the radio action and put an action token on him. Now I can spend, during the Soviet card phase, you get that one, what card is that? The 13th Guards Rifle Division to get 6 points. When I do this action, I get 2 points, and I want to get myself a anti-tank. No, yeah, Chekhov should be able to hold off the infantry for a while. So I'm going to spend that just to get the anti-tank equipment. So there's 2 different kinds of anti-tank equipment. One, you can roll 4 dice. One, you can roll 3 dice. This costs 3 pips. This costs 2. So I'm going to just kind of save the pip and get the one that allows me to roll 3 dice. And we'll try to get the other one later in the game. So that's done. Now I'm going to exhaust Glashenko. He's going to do a suppression action. We're going to put ourselves a little military thing there, and then we're going to exhaust the other dude, and we're going to put a suppression token there. I'm going to take my action tokens back. That is the end of the Soviet counter round. These guys are exhausted. Now when they're exhausted, they can't move, they can't do anything, they can't take part in storm groups, so obviously we're going to have to get them to recover next turn. Speaking of next turn, we're going to go to phase 1. We go to the Soviet card phase. We flip over these 4 cards. And what do I have? All right, well, I'm going to do the flotilla action because I don't want to recruit more units right now. So I'm going to do the flotilla action. I'm going to put 2 zappers and a food into there. Sounds good to me. I'm going to do this action. Oh, these are not the cards of dreams, kids. Just not at all. Not at all. So it's fine. It will do. I'm going to do so again, if I want to do operational support, I need to clear these two things off. But again, I didn't get an opportunity to do that. I do want to try to protect this part. I want to, 14 to 17, I want to protect a bit. So I'm going to do the 1083rd Anti-Aircraft Regiment. I'm going to remove this suppression token. I can remove any of the 3 suppression tokens on any of those 4 spaces, but I'm just going to remove that one up there. Again, keep it higher and closer to there. I mean, more forms I can keep free closer to 14 to 17, the more likely that if I have to start going up to the chain with disruption tokens, that I'll be able to find another spot before I get up into that area, which I want to try to protect. So the last thing I can do is I don't have any zappers or sappers in the support. The sappers are interesting. So to me, it looks like a guy on a beach who's like mining for metal. The sappers, I guess, were an elite Russian unit that were really good with defense around the perimeter. So there's a couple of ways you can use sappers that we'll talk about. I normally use them to increase shield level, but you could also put them in one of these spots. And if a German troop were to enter that spot, then you can do a free attack. They're both interesting ways. I found keeping my defenses up a little bit more helpful for how I play this game. So the question is, I guess I could just get all my equipment now and then try to fill it up with units later. So I'm going to do the 13th Guard Rifle Division Command Post. I'm going to get a mortar. I could just get the elite. Let me get a gun, a mortar, and another anti-tank. And now I just have a bunch of weapons in here. So I spent 6 points as I can for that card. 2 points on the anti-tank weapon. So I have 2 of those. 2 points on an anti-gun weapon, which the gun, not an anti-gun, the gun weapon is basically you can use them against infantry, and then 1 point on a mortar, which will help us get a ton of suppression tokens into any one spot if we choose to get our 2 little mortar guys over here. All right, so we'll see how that plays out. This phase is done. I'm now going to get the 3 German cards off the top of the deck, and we are still in stage 1, so we'll see how this goes. We are going to get scouts. We have to place a scouts. That is the 194th IR 715 T10. We're placing him where? Well, he would get placed in 6. I have no suppression tokens on the west side of the building, and no suppression tokens in the purple box to be more specific, so I can't even try to suppress him. And he goes there. Now, had I had a suppression token there, I could take that off. I would roll 1 die per suppression token I used. And if I rolled equal to or greater than the defense value, then I could just ignore that card altogether, which is super nice. All right, we're placing a rifleman now. We're replacing him. I rolled a 4. I'm not too worried about... Nah, he would go here. Let me try to suppress him. It's a 50-50 shot. Why not? So I got rid of that 1 suppression token. If I roll a 4, 5, or 6, I can ignore him. I rolled a 1, so I can't ignore him, so he's going to go into his spot. And now we do an attack of the building. Where are we attacking? So this is the 15 CM, 5 FH18, 171st Artillery. I rolled a 2. We're attacking the green side of the building. We roll all 5 dice, and I need, if I get a 6 with any one of those dice, then the defense value goes down. I rolled a 5, a 5, a 4, a 3, and a 2. So we are good. The building holds firm. That's what I like to see. Good old Russian construction. It's like, no, I will not be succumbed to your awful attack of me. Correct. All right, now what am I doing? I have the Soviet counteraction. I can move 2 of these suckers. I'm going to move Chekhov into position here. I'm going to move Pavlov into position here. And then we're going to have 3 actions. Now I can't move any other guys. I have 1 more movement, but I have no units that I can move. So I'm going to use Pavlov's action. Now he can give 3 recover actions to 3 different units. So I'm going to recover all 3 of the guys that I used last turn. However, it doesn't mean I can now use them this turn. They all get these command tokens on top of them, which I wish they were a bit more of a different color to differentiate them more from the action tokens. But you see the symbol, the circle versus the star. This means these guys had a command token, a recover action given to them by someone with command. So the command action is really, really strong. But you got to remember, you can't use a recover action. You can't command a recovery on another Soviet counter that has command. So you have to be a little strategic in how you use that. Finally, we have Chekhov. So I'm going to use another action here. I have no more units I can use this turn, so I'm obviously only using 2 actions. But Chekhov is going to try to kill that dude. So he rolls 4 dice. He's going against that infantry, the scouts. I need a 5 on one of these dice. I got 3 5s and a 6. What a waste. That's excessive, Chekhov. Calm yourself, sir. And that knocks the scouts off the board. Now, at the end of the game, not only do you need to be careful about these units as they go in, because if anyone ever reaches the center, anyone ever reaches the house, you automatically lose. However, you also get -3 points for each German counter that's on the board at the end of the game. Plus, on the other side of that, you get +1 point into the game for each Soviet counter that you have in Pavlov's house, even if they're in the reserves. So you do want to try to stock up on Soviet counters. However, the counterbalance to that is the more units you have in here, the more you have to feed. And if you can't feed units, so say, I have to feed 13 units, but I only have 2 of these, I do have to throw away Soviet counters till I get down to what I can feed. And those are considered casualties of war. So, you don't want to grow your population in the house too quickly. And it's something that I try to do, closer to the end, right? All right, so that is that. That was the Soviet counter phase. Now we go to the third turn of the game. And what do we got? So how are we doing on disruption tokens? I have 4 disruption tokens. I really don't think there's going to be that many more aircraft in level 1, but I think I'm more concerned about getting those disruption tokens off. So first, let me do the flotilla action. We're going to move these 2 sappers and this extra food supply into the reserves. I'm going to do the anti-aircraft action. Do I want to try to start cleaning that up? No, not really. So we're going to anti-aircraft action. We're going to clear that up. No, if I ever want to do the operational support card, I do need to get these off the board. So I'll do the 32nd Guards Artillery Regiment action to get that disruption token off. And then I will do the 139th Signal Battalion to get my first one of these guys on the board. Now, getting all 4 of those in place to get the 4th action, that's really hard to do, but it's always nice to have. So say I rolled a 14, again, instead of having to place a disruption token, I have a little bit of a cushion. So that's how I like to use those tokens more for defensive purposes, as opposed to trying to aggressively try to get to that 4th action. All right, so the Soviet card phase is now done. So we're going to get these 4 cards off the board, and we have the final 3 cards from stage 1 for the Germans. What are we doing? We are attacking the building. So same kind of thing. We're going to determine where we're going to attack. We're attacking the red, so the north side of the building. I roll 5 dice. If any of these dice are a 6, they are not, so we're getting really lucky with that. So that's nice. So that shield stays there. I mean, it's 5 dice. Chance of rolling a 6 is pretty darn high, but I will take it. So we get a Junkers. There's only 2 planes this time, so we have no anti-aircraft. We're going to roll 3 dice for both of these planes. The first plane rolls a 7, so we get a disruption token on the flotilla. And second plane rolls a 9. We get a disruption token on the anti-aircraft area. Maybe I should have done this because I just saw the other card, and that is 2 more planes. All right, this plane rolls a 12, so we get a disruption token. Well, the 12 goes to the 13, and the last plane, so I'm rolling nice and low. I cursed myself. I did not roll low again. Disruption token on the 15, Fog of War card added to the discard pile. So that's a little bit unlucky, but I mean, again, I was due to roll a big roll at some point, right? So it is what you roll 3 dice enough, you're going to get into the 14, 15, 16, 17 range at least once, right? So it is what it is. So it's like 7, 9, 13, and 15 got hit with those 4 planes. But honestly, don't hate what we're looking at right now. So we definitely want to start dealing with these disruption tokens as we go. And again, if I have any hope of doing the operational support card there, those 2 are going to have to move at some point. So we go to the Soviet counter stage. I can move 3. And now look, the resupply card's already at the top here, so we know that this is like the end of round 1. You're not missing anything with this being off the board on the bottom, just to be clear. So this is just, I know that next turn I'm gonna have to feed I'm gonna have to take 1 of these for every 5 counters I have, and I'm just gonna stay at 5 counters, and we'll start adding more counters pretty aggressively after that, right? So I can move 3, but I can't move exhausted dudes. So I will move. I don't want to move any. Yeah, I think we're good. So I have 3 actions. I'm going to do a recover action on Pavlov. So that goes there. I'm going to do a recover action on Chekhov. And then we're going to do a suppression action with Chernogalov. And we're going to get ourselves another suppression token there. Maybe it'll be more effective next time. So these 3 action tokens come off the board. That is the end of this turn. And now we go back to the Soviet card phase, pulling 4 of these cards. And we'll see what we have. Definitely want to get some disruption tokens off the board. And that's cool. Well, interesting. I'm going to do this 139th Signal Battalion action there. Remove this disruption token. I'm going to do the anti-aircraft action to remove this disruption token. And now the question is, do I put a sappers here or do I increase? I've been getting lucky with the defense, so I'm not sure I feel the need to try to raise. Well, I do want to protect Chekhov a little bit. And none of these are really super threatened right now. So when you have a zappers in this location, when something enters, whether it's a tank or it's an infantry, you roll 3 dice, I believe it is. Yeah, you roll 3 dice, and then if you beat the, and it's a really effective strategy. The problem is I don't want to waste it on a rifleman anyway. And I think just getting up to 6 will just let's try to defend this building while we can. So we're going to do, on yellow alternatives, I just take this off and really try to clean up some of these suppression tokens. But now I have the zappers, why not? So we're going to take the zappers out. I get to increase the defense value on part of my building. I'm going to go back to 6 all around. I think that just feels right. That's just what I want to do. All right, so that's done. And now we go to the German card. So I have 3 cards. Resupply, Pavlov's house. I have 5 counters. So we're going to do 5 defenders, counters, defenders, same thing. So I take 1 food out of my supplies. And then this is going to go here. So Storm Group, 3rd, what is that? 3rd BN, 42nd. What does RGMT stand for? I feel like it's a pretty obvious acronym. I should know what's going on here. 13th Division, the Ventorg. So it's green, so it corresponds to this area. Now, what does that mean? I cannot try to do the Storm Group if there are any infantry or tanks in either of those tracks. And that makes sense because, in theory, you're going to this place, the Ventorg, from Pavlov's house. So you want to be able to get there if there were Germans in your way. So you have to clear this place out. Then you do a Storm Group. The defense value is 15. So if I can roll enough dice to get a 15 or higher, then I succeed. And then I would get to put this in the point area and I would get 8 points at the end of the game. So it's 15's high. A lot of those cards only have 10. So 15 is definitely going to require some planning and take us a little bit to get to. And remember, you can only put things in Storm Groups that aren't exhausted. And you roll 1 die per Storm Group, per token in the Storm Group in general. And there are things that can add, if it has the S on it, it's 2 additional dice. However, if you fail, if you succeed or fail, either way, you have to roll a dice. And if you for every 5 or 6 that you roll for each counter, you get that counter survives. But if you roll a 1 through a 4, those counters die. So you can start causing casualties to yourself based on trying to do this. And remember, each of these counters is worth a point at the end of the game. So if I go and I try and I fail, but I have 4 casualties on the way, not only did I not get the 8 points, I would actually be costing myself points and counters, right? So there's this give and take with the scoring system that you want to be really careful that when you do these, you want to make sure you succeed, but you don't want to send too many counters, because if you send 8 counters, and even if you succeed but 7 die, you only got 1 point net, right? That's not a great mathematical equation for you. All right, so that's done. So 2 more cards for the German cards. We're adding a rifleman. Rifleman is getting added to green. Of course, we want to keep green clean. I really don't want to have to waste action to try to kill this guy. So let's try to suppress him. So I have 1 suppression token. I'm going to take that out of the game. And so I need a 4 or higher to kill this guy. I rolled a 6. It works. So I can just ignore that card. Don't have to place a rifleman. And now we place a scouts. Where does he get placed? Of course. Of course he does. So the scouts gets placed in lane 2, and we have to clean that out if we want to do that Storm Group action. Obviously not doing that anytime soon, but we only have a certain number of rounds to do that, right? Because the next time we get a resupply card like here, that it will replace that Storm Group if that's still there. So we basically have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 turns to do that, and we can only do that again in the Soviet card phase, and we can only do that when we get the 60-second army command post card action coming up. So lots of things to consider with the timing of how that all can work. What do I want to do? Well, now that we've already fed my troops, we don't have to feed them for a bit longer. Let's do Alexandrov. Well, I can move 3. Do I want to remove any? Sure. I'm going to remove Chekhov to try to kill those scouts because they annoy me. I'll move Glishenko up to the north, and that's good. So I'm going to use Alexandrov. He's going to summon 2 more. We're going to get our boy Voronov because he's a storm guy. He's a gunner. There's some good things that come with him. We already have my gun, so yeah, hopefully I can get some more counters next turn. So that's good. So Voronov's in the reserves now. I'm going to do an action with Chekhov. Chekhov's going to roll 4 dice. If I roll a 5 with any of them, we kill the scouts that have so rudely interrupted our storm group party. So we rolled a 4 and a 6. So this dude is no longer a concern of ours. And with our last action, I'm going to put another suppression token onto, I'm going to use, what's his name? Glashenko. And I'm going to put another suppression token onto the red box there. Cool. We're going to now take all the action tokens off the board, and we go to the Soviet card phase. I'm pulling 4. Let's see what we have. All right. So 60-second army command post is way too early to try to do the storm group. The most I can muster with dice is if I put Pavlov and Voronov there, I could roll 1 die for each of them, and I could roll 2 more because I have the storm group. So I would need to get a 15 with 4 dice. No thanks. Seems risky, kids. Yes. So I'm going to do the flotilla action to clear this disruption token off. I'm going to do the 60-second. Oh, I could clear this off, and then I could do the operational support card. It seems like a bad idea. I'm still. Is it a bad idea? I don't know. Let's take some points. And what could I clear? I could clear off. Yeah, I can clear off this disruption token. Yeah, I guess with those actions, and I'm not ready to do a storm group, there's not many better options. I was hoping to get a 13th Guards Rifle Division command post card, and then I could get some more units, but that didn't happen. So sure, I'm going to do the 32nd Guards Artillery Regiment to clear this disruption token off. And then with my third action here, I'm going to do the 62nd Army Command Post. What am I going to do? So that's clean. This is clean. This is clean. I can remove from game 1 stock token, 1 sappers, 1 food, 1 med kit. Med kits can basically prevent, I don't do this strategy a lot, but if you had med kits here, you can prevent damage that way or prevent disruption. I probably should, that's a strategy I need to explore a little bit more. And an ammunition token, taking it out of the game. So they come from the stock. They don't even have to be in the supply. They can be in the stock. They come out of the game. And then I've scored these 4 points for doing that. And now we get another operational support card. It is the Northern Landing Stage. If this is clear and this is clear, I can remove an ammunition, a med pack, and a food, and I would get 3 points. So again, just felt like it was a good timing to just grab some points. There were some low-hanging points, and I also was able to clear out 2 disruption tokens. So don't hate that turn as much as I would have liked to get some more Soviet counters into Pavlov's house. Great. I'm going to now get 3 German cards. The first one is we are doing some bombing, kids. We're going to have 3 bombers. I'm going to roll 3 dice for each. I rolled a 10. We get a disruption token on number 10. We get the next one. I rolled a 9. We get a disruption token. Well, 9's full, 10's full. We got a disruption token on 11. And the last one, I got a spinning dice. I got a 10. 10's full, 11's full, 12's full, 13. Yikes. Definitely need to start removing some more of those. All right, sniper, attack defender. Scary. So snipers can kill one of your dudes. It's really not great, but it's one of the reasons why you want to try to keep those defenses high. So I'm going to roll a die. Where are we attacking? We're attacking the west side of the building. Well, guess what? Or east side of the building. Guess what, dude? There are no Soviet counters on the west side of the east, west. I don't know. Directions are hard. So sniper is ineffective. That is awesome. So that is sniper, 295th Infantry Division, attack defender. We are good to go there. And now we get 7 S point, what is it? 5 cm. Was I saying S before? 5 cm LEIG 18 artillery company 517th IR, 295th ID. We're attacking the building, so it's either attacking the west or the north. I rolled a 2, so it's attacking the west. Only rolling 3 dice. One of these needs to be a 6. Of course it is. That goes down to a 5. All right, that's fine. What are we doing now? So I am going to... I can only one I can move is I can put Yaronov on the board somewhere. It doesn't make much sense. This guy's exhausted, so I can't even move him. So great. I'm just going to do my actions. I'm going to do... Pavlov is going to do a command action, and we're going to get these 3 to recover. This dude recovers, this dude recovers, this dude recovers. And unfortunately, bit of a wasted turn. Not getting any additional counters I could put in Pavlov's house during the Soviet card phase a little rough, because I just wasn't able to do anything else at that point because all my units have been done. Yaronov doesn't really do anything other than if there's not a... I mean, I didn't have another gunner. If I had another gunner, I could put him somewhere and try to shoot down an infantry, but I just didn't. Other thing the thing that he's best for is, again, being part of a storm group. So that's that. We need to get some more units because that was boring. Next turn, what are we doing? So I get these 4 cards. Give me units. Oh, really? Wow. Yikes. Yikes, yikes. All right. Well, what do I want to do? Let's get rid of some disruption tokens, I guess. Yeah, we're going to do the 1083rd anti-aircraft, remove a disruption token from there. I'm going to do the 32nd Guards Artillery, remove a disruption token from there. And we'll do... Might as well. I'm going to do the zappers, get rid of this, and get this back up to 6. Because I can, people. Because I can. Yeah, getting to a place where everyone gets disrupted by later attacks is really not great. So that's disappointing. I really wanted more reinforcements, but this too, we can wait another day, and hopefully this will work out soon. I have all these weapons, and I have no one to use them. It's not great. Really not great. So what are we doing? We're going to do a machine gunner, replacing a machine gunner. We're replacing him on 5. I will not try to suppress him because he's so far out and he's only a 4 to kill. So that's fine. We're going to leave him. We're going to let him live for now. We're going to now do 2 more planes. Bombing Stalingrad like they do. 3 dice. I rolled a 9. So 9's full, 10's full, 11. And then the second bomber, I rolled a 8. 8's full, 9's full, 10's full, 11's full, 12's full, 13. See how that starts to get annoying. And now Rifleman, we're replacing him. We place him in 1. I have no suppression tokens, so they're just really getting in our way of our storm group ideas, and that will go there. Now, Soviet counter phase. I can move 3. Do I want to move anybody? No. Nah, I'll move Glishenko here because I can. All right, I'm going to use Alexandrov to request reinforcements because I've been really unlucky there. He's going to get just 2 of these. What do I want? I'll get another anti-aircraft guy. I'll get my first anti-aircraft guy. I'm really, really big in my strategy around getting the 13th Guards Rifle Division command post. Yeah, I think that will be fine. I'm definitely not doing this storm group next turn. There's no way. I'm going to use Lyshenko. I'm going to exhaust him. I'm going to get a suppression token in green. Oh, I'm not going to do that with Lyshenko because, yeah, I realized I took that suppression token out of the supply instead of out of the stock instead of out of the supplies. Sorry about that. Yeah, I should have 6 here because I tried suppression twice, succeeded once, failed once, and I have those 2 there. So yeah, there should be 6 suppression tokens left there. That is correct. Cool. So I'm going to do a recover action with Pavlov. That's more important. And then I'm going to do a gunfire attack with Chekhov. He's rolling 4. I need a 4 higher to take out this rifleman. Riflemen are gunners. Works for me. So we go to we're going to get rid of these action tokens. We're going to reset those. We're now going to go back to the Soviet card phase. We get those 4 cards. What do we get? There we go. There we go. All right, so I'm going to do anti-aircraft. We really need to start clearing these disruption tokens. Broken record there. We're going to do anti-aircraft, and we're going to do 13th Guard Rifle Division command post. I'm going to get myself Sabgeda. So Sabgeda has the I. What's the I do? That's inspiration. So he would actually roll an additional die when using a piece of machinery. Notice they have no attack or suppression tokens or values themselves. So this guy is, all he does is operate the anti-aircraft weapon. And generally speaking, the weapons get a little interesting. Might as well go into this now. Usually it's 1 Soviet counter per box. However, when you have a weapon involved, you need 2 there to actually activate the weapon. So that's 3 points. I'm going to get him. I'm going to get, do I want a gunner? A couple of gunners? Sure. We'll get a couple of gunners. And we're going to get, so that's 5 points. And then we're going to get just one of these dudes. And that's 6 points. They all go into the reserves. So kind of trying to see how many I could attack with. If I wanted to attack next turn, 1, 2, 3, not in awful spots. I do have these 2 infantry that I'm going to want to start dealing with at some point. I have this mortar in case I want to go the mortar route at some point. And I haven't gotten the extra command guys yet either. So, you know what? I'm going to leave this suppression token here. And I'm going to do this other command. Yeah, I need more units. I'm going to get this other guy with commands. I'm going to get Namov, and I'm going to get another 2 of these. I want to try to do that storm group next turn, and I just don't see another way. So those are another 6 points. I basically spent 12 points on units this round. So instead of taking 2 disruption tokens off of those 2 spots and getting 6 points of reinforcements, I got 12 points of reinforcements, and I only took 1 of those tokens off, which is a little risky because I'm obviously climbing up the ladder a little bit, but I really want to try to get that storm group done, and I'm running out of turns to get that done. So that just, it's so unit intensive and not having another command token and having this many units was really another command counter with this many units is a mistake as far as I'm concerned. All right, so we go to the German cards. We're gonna have 3 of them again. The first is we're bombing. How many more bombers are there? I really need to get a better sense of how many bombers there are, because this could be rough. So I'm rolling 3. I rolled a 7. Don't hate it. We're gonna fill up the flotilla a little bit. Not planning to use that for a second anyway. We're rolling next. I rolled a 11. That fills up the 13. And then we roll one more time. I rolled a 10. 10's full, 11's full, 12's full, 13's full. Oh, can't place anything on 14 because instead this just comes off. And now since I did not place a disruption token, I do not have to add an additional Fog of War card, which is good. All right, so that's done. No more bombers, please. All right, we're placing a tank. I'll take a tank. Love tanks. Where are we placing this? Placing him on 1. Oh, I don't love tanks anymore. Why? So he goes here, and then we're going to go again. We're placing a gunner. Gunner's going to go on 1. Oh, you're killing me. That's not good. All right, so he comes here. It's unless I kill them both, we are not actually going to be able to do that storm group next turn, because now we have 2 in green and we need to clear that out. So he goes there. So roll 2 1s in a row, which is a wee bit unfortunate. So we go to the Soviet counter phase. What is happening? I can move 3. And again, I can't move anything that's exhausted. So I'm going to move this. I'm going to move Sabgeda, and I'm going to take one of my anti-aircraft. I'm going to move this guy to position 3. Now I'm going to, since there is already an anti-aircraft, I'm going to get another one with an A on it. I'm going to do Toriev, put him here. So I've moved 2 units. I can move 1 more. As a side note, if I had moved them into where Glashenko was, I could then also move Glashenko, and that only counts as 1 movement, so which is interesting. Do I want to move 1 more? Man, I might try to wipe him out anyway. So I'm going to move Pavlov there, which allows me to move Pavlov somewhere for free. So that was it. That was my 3rd move, because I moved 1, 2, and I moved 3, and then Pavlov was also moved, but that was part of the same movement where Shapovalov knocked him out of his place. Yeah, I'll leave the other guy with command over here. So what are my 3 actions? I'm going to exhaust Pavlov to ready 3 units. They're all going to get a command token on them. I cannot use them this turn. I will now do my anti-tank. So this is my 2nd and my 3rd unit that I'm using. So they both get action tokens on them. That's good. Now, as a side note, for command, if I get all 3 of my unit counters that have command on them and I put them in battle positions, that's when I would get 4 movement and 4 actions a turn in the Soviet counter phase. At this point, obviously I don't even have the 3rd command guy on the board yet, so we're not going to worry about that too much. Gun. Yeah, that's fine. So we're going to now do that anti-aircraft action. So it's only 3 dice, but because I have to do with the Inspire trait, I get 4 dice. I need to go with 5 with at least one of these 4 dice, and I rolled a 3, a 1, a 1, and a 2. So that was a failed effort, kids. Ugh, it's going to be so hard. It's going to be really hard to do that storm group. That's a bad roll. That is a bad, bad roll. All right, all the command tokens come off. All the action tokens come off. And now I got to figure out, can I even get... I mean, if I have some options. I could try to get another anti-tank thing in there just to try to give myself a chance to get those 8 points. Because once you miss those opportunities, they're really hard to get back in this game. So that was unfortunate. And how many units? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Oof, I'm really light on food too. Now, if people were casualties of war, it would matter a little bit less. So, I ran out of Soviet cards. So I have those 3. So I just shuffle, reconstitute the deck, and I'm going to pull 1 more off the top. I did not get a flotilla, so that's... I was thinking about, do I want to try to get another food in the supply? Because I might be in bad shape with food. But that's not going to make too much sense. Alright, so 1 more card coming off. It is that. Yeah, I think I just need to clear and counter. I just have too many tokens. I want to get an anti-tank person. The reality is 3 more cards, 3 more cards. Yeah, I'm only going to have 2 more turns to do this. I'll give 1 more shot at that tank. Yeah, I don't know if it makes sense to just go totally nuts here in a way that's going to hurt me elsewhere. Could get my other command guy out, which is an idea. Or I just take off disruption tokens. I think I just take off disruption tokens. You know, honestly, getting disruption tokens there isn't the worst thing now because I just reshuffled, so these Fog of War cards wouldn't come out of my deck all that much more. But, I mean, I could try to load up the flotilla and get another food in there so I don't lose a bunch of 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Oh, yeah. It wouldn't be the most efficient thing I could do. But getting the extra food in there at least would prevent me from losing a bunch of units. All right, we're going to do the Flogger Military Flotilla. I'm going to put these 2 tokens there. And then I'm going to do 267th and the 32nd and remove those 2 disruption tokens. That's fine. Soviet card phase is done. Germans, what are you doing to me? All right, infantry, suppress defender. So what happens when you do this is you take each form together. So the green, the red, and the purple. You're going to add up all the infantry. So tracks 1 and 2, I have 1 infantry, and he's going to have a dice value of 2. So he's going to suppress a defender corresponding to the color he's at. So we're suppressing a defender on green. Which defender am I suppressing? Well, they're going to try to suppress the defender on space 2. So he's going to roll 2 dice. The defense value of that side of the building is still a 6. So if either of these dice is a 6, it is not. So the suppress defender action from the infantry failed. These infantry, now they're going to try to suppress the defender on the north side of the building. What's the defender are they trying to suppress? They're going to try to, they rolled a 3. So Chernogalov, they're going to try to suppress him. They're rolling 3 dice. If any of these dice is a 6, then he's suppressed. I did not roll a 6, so the suppressed defender failed. Armor, attack building. There's only 1 armor on the board. There's that tank. The tank is trying to attack that side of the building. The tank has a dice value of 2. If either of these are 6, that becomes a 5. No 6s. So this assault, again, keeping the defense high, you saw how important that is. The assault was totally irrelevant. Rifleman. We're placing a rifleman where? On number 4. I am going to try to suppress that rifleman. I'm going to use both of these suppression tokens. If either of these dice is a 4, we can ignore that card. I rolled a 4 and a 5. That card is now ignored, so I have no more suppression tokens, unfortunately. And then mortar, suppress defender. I rolled a 2. So trying to suppress the defender on the green side of the building. What defender are we trying to suppress? I rolled a 3. It's going to be on either one of those guys on the anti-tank spot. And they're going to roll 4 dice. If any of these dice is a 6, we will have to choose one of those guys to suppress. I did rolled 1 6, so we can choose. Then I'm going to put a disruption token on that dude. All right. Which isn't great. Now we go to the Soviet counter phase. I am going to move 3. I'm going to move Numov there. I'm going to move this guy there just as kind of fodder, I think. No. Numov there. I'm going to move Shot. I'm going to move these 2 gunners here. And that's my 3 actions, my 3 movement. Now, my actions. I'm going to do a command action with Nuoff. Now, normally you can only use 1 action on a counter each round. So you can't do a recover and an action with somebody. However, when you're doing a command action, I can use 2 of my 3 recover actions on the same unit. So I'm going to remove this disruptor token, which is a recover action, and have Tureyev recover. And I'm also going to recover Sabgada, and so they both have recovery or command tokens on them. But that was all 3 of my recovery actions, even though I only have 2 command tokens. I'll put a 3rd command token on him just to make it clear, but that's fine. So that was 1 action. I have 2 more actions. I'm going to use Chekhov to try to wipe out the machine gunners. So I roll 4 dice. I rolled a 5, a 5, and a 4. So the machine gunners are done. And I have 1 more action. I'm going to exhaust Kushenko, and we're going to put a suppression token here. Really try to prevent anything else from landing on green, and that is fine. Yeah, his suppression value is the 1 there, and that will work. All right. We're going to take my action tokens back. Still trying to see if I can manage that storm group, but it's going to be tough. And then we get the Soviet card phase. We pull 4 cards. And what do I want to do? That's a lot of 139th. Wow. Yeah, I still can't do the storm group because that unfortunate luck with that anti-tank roll. I did not get a flotilla, so I can't even get these in my staging area yet, which is really unfortunate. I'm going to remove, and then I'm going to, at the 3rd action, add this here. And notice I'm really not going nuts with the anti-aircraft at this point. It's just, from an efficiency standpoint, I feel like blocking up these spots and preventing disruption token. It's like, yeah, if I could roll 2 4s, fine, but to me, like from an action economy, it's almost as effective just to remove these and kind of put some protection in case from places getting disrupted, if any of that made sense. So that is the Soviet card phase. That is done. We're going to do the German card phase. We have these 3 cards. Notice the resupply card popped up. So we have next turn, I'm going to need to get a card with a 60-second army post to have any chance to do that storm group. So we'll see if I can get lucky there. The Panzer III, the 14th Panzer Division, we're replacing this. Well, forget that. We are not doing that storm group, kids. That is an impossibility at this point. So that goes there. We're attacking the building. Where are we attacking? We're attacking the red part of the building. I'm rolling 3 dice. The defense there is 6. I did roll a 6. This goes down to a 5. And then finally, what are we doing? We're placing another tank. This tank is going on 3. So now we have a Panzer II, which is going here. So I'm giving up on that storm group. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I have 14 counters here. That's fine. So I'm going to hopefully get a flotilla action next turn so I can get this in and I can feed all my dudes. So what am I trying to do now? I can move 3. I only have 3 actions. I do want to get this other command guy in place. That will make some sense. Do I want to move anybody though? Probably not. Actions, I'm going to recover Pavlov. And then I'm going to, remember, when I did that command action last turn, I couldn't use one of those recovery actions on Pavlov. You can't use a recovery action on somebody else that has a command designation. And then my last 2 actions, we're going to exhaust both of these anti-aircraft guys, and they're rolling 4 dice. We're trying to knock out this dude with I need a 5 or higher with one of these 4 dice. Oh my lord. You guys are really bad at your jobs. It's like, oh, that's really unlucky. 8 dice, not a 5 or a 6 to be found. Yowza. All right, well, we shall move on. Like that's I don't think I've gotten that unlucky with dice in this game yet. So I was due. There is that. We're good. So we're gonna go to the Soviet card phase. I mean, we're not really good, but you know, give me a flotilla, please. All right, good. So at least my guys are going to survive. We're going to get these 2 into the supplies. And now this ammunition token becomes 5 more suppression tokens, which we can add to the supply because we had 5 left and now we have 10 total. I do not have the ability to add any more units. I would really think about getting this command guy in but that's fine. I'm going to now do 2 139th, and we're going to get 1 away from actually getting that 4th action. But really, we're just kind of protecting ourselves from more fog of war cards added into our deck. And that will do. Germans. All right, resupply. So we have one more resupply card coming up. So I will have to find a way to feed everyone again one more time. But we're going to take these 3 food out because I have 14 defenders. And it is rounded up. So there's 14, there's 2.8, rounds up. So I need to spend 3 of those. We're going to put this card here. This card goes away. Oh, the red. You've got to be kidding me. So if I cleared off the red by some magical... some magical thing that's not happening, then I could try to get 6 points. But that's going to be really hard because there's only infantry up there, but yeah, it's still not great. So I lose that opportunity to score those 8 points. That's done. I could, well, if I get that disruption token out, I could consider doing an operational support card and getting 3 points that way. We'll see. So I have 2 more German cards. It is replacing another tank. Yikes. I rolled a 3, so now so much for only the 1 tank up in the red form. And now we are doing what? We're attacking building. What part of the building? We're attacking the green part of the building. I'm rolling 3 dice. I need one of that to be a 6. Well, I don't need it. The Germans needed it. They succeed. That defense is down to a 5. All right, so now what? I'm going to try to clean out the red, which is going to be super hard. So we're going to exhaust Pavlov to give 3 recovery actions. So 1, 2, and 3. So put the command tokens on those 3. I'm going to do a like, this is not going well. All right, I'm going to do Alexandrov's going to get on the radio to call on some reinforcements. We're going to get another anti-tank dude because I'm going to want to get another anti-tank operation up and running pretty quick. So that's my 2nd action. It does mean I'm not doing a gun attack up there yet. That's fine. I mean, it's not great. I could try to roll 1 die and see if I get a 4. I can't do those actions. I'm more worried about these tanks stacking up is bad. I also don't necessarily want to exhaust that and leave that space all jammed up. So with my 3rd action, I'll do a recovery action on Namov. Fine. So I recovered recovered my 1 command guy because I used the other command guy, and did a radio so I can try to set myself up for some awesomeness pretty soon. I just, yeah, exhausting this guy to roll 1 die and hoping I roll a 4 or better. A 4 or better just seems like a bad idea. So yeah, it's weird that like just a couple of bad rolls when you're rolling 4 dice can really change the complexion of how this game starts to feel, because the number of actions I've had to use trying to knock out this tank and failing, that's a lot. I mean, it's 4 actions I used plus the recovery, so it's a total of 8 actions that have just left me nothing. So instead of moving this guy there, trying to take care of some things, it's just missing twice has really put me in a bit of a bind. So we're going to go to the Soviet card phase. Might actually get, nope. Did not get a 139th, unfortunately. I am going to use the 13th Guard Division command to get my last command guy and another anti-tank guy. So those are my 6 points there. I'm going to do the military flotilla to move that disruption token, and we're going to do the 62nd command post to get 3 more food and 2 sappers into 4 more food. I guess it doesn't really matter. 4 more food and a sapper into the staging area. Kind of letting my defense, I got so lucky early, I'm kind of neglecting my defense a little bit, but I think that makes the most sense considering where I'm at. But having to clear out those 4 units just to have a chance at the storm group, that's not making me feel good. I mean, in some ways, I want to clearing that out to maybe get a chance at the milk house at the end, because we know that's like the last thing we can do, and that's super hard. We'll see. So what do we have? We have three German cards. German card number 1, we're bombing 4, so that's why I like having that wall to try to prevent some of the disruption of this. So rolling 4 dice. Yeah, I still think it made using the, because I'm pausing, hesitating. If I did the 62nd Army Command Post instead of to get supplies into Pavlov's house, I could have tried to do the operational support card, but honestly, I have no food in there, and I'm going to need food at some point, so I don't think that was a worthwhile risk. So we might have lost the opportunity to get those 3 points, but I think that makes the most sense right now. So we have 4 planes attacking us. I rolled an 11. Yeah, so now, well, again, so as long as the flotilla doesn't get covered up, we're actually pretty good. The second plane, I rolled a 10. The third plane, I rolled a 17. What? All right. I missed. So fog of war. And the fourth plane, I rolled a 9. 9's full, 10's full, 11's full, 12. One interesting note. So these guys, these tokens, I would need to get one of these guys with the F to use that. And I could throw away a token to actually attack 2 adjacent spots. It's a really strong strategy. That is something I like to do in late game. Interestingly enough, I think in the original rules, they only give you 2 dice for each spot you're attacking, and you can attack either infantry or tank. But then the designer, David Thompson, realized that people weren't doing it enough, and to make it a little bit more of a viable strategy for the game, he added it. So now it's not 3 dice. So that's a really, really strong strategy to kind of look at now, especially since I have all my command guys, and I'm going to start being able to do 4 actions around, and there's some more cool things that are happening there. Another side note, so I did get the third guy with the command token. I won't have 4 actions this turn. I would only get the 4 actions the turn after he already starts the Soviet counter phase in a command space. I will have to move him in the command space, but I won't get that 4th action until the next turn. All right, so what happened? So I added 4 tokens. That was super fun, and we'll see what happens next. The machine gunners, placing them on 6. No suppression tokens over there. So that guy is now there. Getting surrounded by Germans. All right, and the Panzer 4, rolling a 2. Really, really, dude? So this comes in and moves those 2 down. And that has a defense of a 6, so no joke. I was going to move these anti-tank guys there, but now I think I have to try to take care of some business where they currently are, and they're rolling so well, so I don't know I don't know why I want to trust them to roll a 5. All right, so we have the command phase, or the Soviet counter phase. I'm going to do 3 movement actions. I definitely want to get this guy into a combat position so I get the 4 actions starting next turn. That's 1. I'm going to move these 2 anti-tank dudes. I won't be using Chekhov this turn, but that's fine. So I'm going to do this here and here. Now I have 3 actions this turn. Next act, starting next turn, I will have 4, which is massive. So I am doing the the 4 is nice just so I can get the 2 anti-tanks. Oh man, this got out of hand really quick. All of this is scary. All of this is scary. I mean, those are equally problematic, right? Right. All right, so we're going to use these guys with the anti-tank. They're only rolling 3 dice because I don't have the Inspire. And we're going to try to pick off that 4. I rolled a 5. That was a 5. I promise. 1, 3, and a 5. Wow. Never easy. So that tank is dead, and those both get actions. The action tokens on them. One thing that would have been nice if I had another movement, I could have moved Chekhov into there and had him available, but that obviously didn't work. We're going to... These guys require 2 actions. Again, there's 2 counters that have to be exhausted. Guess I just do a recover action. Recovering on the radio. No, I'm not... This guy's... That action's probably run its course. I have so many counters. I'm going to do a recover action on Glashenko so I can kind of clear out some more space up north and try to get Chekhov up in there. That will do. All right, so get these 3 action tokens off. Next turn we will have 4, which makes me happy. We go to the Soviet card action. 1, 2, 3, 4. What are we doing? All right, well, we're going to do this action to get rid of that. Oh, really? So I can't do the flotilla action this turn, but that's fine. I could try to get one of these dudes, and I think that's going to be like a must. Yeah, I think it's too late to try to do this mortar stuff. All right, I'm going to do this action to clear this out, and this action, clear this out. And then I could start recruiting, filling that up, try to set myself up for a nice attack with the, what do they call it? It's the forward observer. That is correct. He is a forward observer. We have sappers, we have forward observers, whatever. So I got 3 disruption tokens off of the map. If I start rolling 2s, this could end a lot quicker than I wanted it to. So suppressing a defender. Suppressing a defender in the purple side. What's defender am I suppressing? I rolled. I'm suppressing defender in, so one of the gunners, I'm rolling 4 dice. So notice those are on the red and the purple side, so it's the 5, 6. They're attacking from this side. So we do use the better defense value here. So if it was attacking from the north, I would need to roll the mortar action would need to roll a 5 or higher. But since we're coming from the east, they need a 6 or higher. 4 dice, of course, we rolled a 6. So I choose one of those guys to suppress. We'll suppress Chet. Attack defender. Where are we attacking? We're attacking on... Oh, that's super bad. All right, what's defender are we attacking? We're attacking 2. We're attacking... Oh, I could lose my command action before I even had it. 6 or higher with one of these. Yes! He survives. No, thank you. Thank God that was up to a 6. I rolled a 5, 4, 4, 3. Nalmov survives. If I had rolled a 6, he would be super dead. I would lose all my command elite team. Now we have a Panzer. Where's the Panzer going? Oh, of course. We're going to load that up. Panzer 2. 1, 4. And now we have a nice little conglomerate of tanks coming at us from the green. Remember when I thought I was going to do a storm group over there? Oh, yeah. That didn't happen. That did not happen. What am I doing? I don't even know. So we can move 4. This guy can't do anything because he's disrupted. So I'm going to need to recover him, which is super annoying. I'm going to move Lyshenko or Chekhov into... Oh, none of this makes me happy. I mean, I have to start using these guys. I have to start limiting those tanks. Oh, it's bad. It's bad. It's bad. That storm group might not be happening. I got too much to worry about. Well, let's move Chekhov up into here. And I'm going to move this guy over here. That's one movement. I have to leave these anti-tank guys there. And I'm not going to move anybody else. All right, so I have 4 actions now because of my elite command team. I'm going to exhaust Naumov because he just survived. He's excited to do some work. We're going to let Chat recover. And we're going to recover... So the disruption token goes away and recover these 2 guys. So the north has some possibilities next turn. We're going to use Chekhov to attack an infantry. So that's our second action. I need a 4 or higher. We're going after the... I'll go with these. These guys are close. These guys have more dice value, but these guys are closer. So I rolled a 2, 2, 2, 6. I am rolling really scary. That's fine. And it's always the one that's like at the end of the bottom on the board down here is like the last one I look at. Yikes. All right, so that's good. And then we're going to roll... I have 2 more actions. We're going to do Glishenko to put a suppression token here. I can't. I have to start attacking these tanks. I have to start attacking the tanks. All right, so we're going to use these 2 guys. Come on, dude. Like, this is take 3. I'm rolling 4 dice. I'm going to keep it simple. I'm going after the... Oh, man. I need a 5. I'm going after the Panzer 3. I can try to pick that guy off later. Yeah, it's fine. 5, please. There we go. 3, 4, 4, 5. Like, just skin on my teeth. Yeah, I'm taking this guy off, and that's fine. So, get the command tokens off. There's 3 of those. We're taking the action tokens off. There's 4 of those. And we're good. We now go back to the Soviet card phase. Yeah, I don't think I can do that storm group. That's going to be really hard. So, what do we have? Ooh. Ooh. All right, we're going to do the flotilla because I need to. And I'm going to try to just get a bunch of food. We're going to do... We might as well... And I have so many counters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Oh, 3 are going to... 2 are going to die already. Yeah, I mean, to do the forward observer thing is going to be crazy because I'm not going to be able to feed them all. If I knew I was doing a storm group, then I'd be a little less worried about it because a couple might die in the storm group. But we'll do the 139th. We'll get a 4th action there, which is very unusual for me. And then we'll do the 267th and remove this disruption token. And really try to keep that wall good. And then next turn, if I start, again, it's the same thing. If you start with those 4 in place, then you get that 4th action. All right, this is going to go here. One thing I will say about this game is I think the time of play estimate is off. It takes a lot longer. I mean, I assume you could like start flying through it as you really get to know it, but it takes a while. I mean, there's a lot of thought and deliberation that I think makes some sense in this game. So yeah, and I'm still not convinced that Northern Landing Stage makes any sense for me. I don't think I had a scoring card. Yeah, I didn't have a 60-second possibility anyway. All right, what are we doing? We're gonna place the scouts. So scouts are being placed where? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. They're gonna go there. I have to spend the suppression. I need a 5 or a 6 one time. I rolled a 2. These guys move. And this could be girly game over Infantry, suppress defender. So there's one infantry here. So we're suppressing a defender on the west side of the building. We're suppressing defender number 1. Infantry's going to roll 1 die. Since we're going from the green, we care about the value over here. It's a 5 either way. So if this die is a 5 or a 6, it's a 4, so suppression fails. There's infantry there. Suppressing a defender at the north side of the building. Suppressing defender number 3, that is Chekhov. Rolling 2 dice because that's his dice value. If either is a 5 or higher, it is a 5, so we get a disruption token on Chekhov. Now, if you ever have to place a disruption token on a counter that already has a disruption token, then you remove that counter from the game. And if you had med packs and the supplies, you would prevent that, which is fine. And then we do the machine gunners, suppressing defender 4. It's not one of my command guys, so that makes me happy. Rolling 2 dice. If it's a 6 or higher, of course we have a 6, so that dude is now disrupted. Now, armor is attacking the building. They're rolling 6 dice on the west side. If there's a 5 or a higher, don't even need to roll the 6 dice. This goes down to a 4. Armor up here, we're rolling 3 dice. If one's a 5 or a higher, that goes down to a 4. Of course, you rolled a 5 and a 1 and a 2, and that's down to a 4. There is no armor on track 6. And then here we go. We're attacking the building. We're attacking the west side of the building, rolling 3 dice. If one is a 4 or higher, we're in trouble. I rolled a 1-1-5, so that's down to 3. So that's not looking really good. My defenses were so good until they weren't. Yikes. All right, well, kids, we're moving 4. Yeah, I think I can give up in that storm group because I'm about to not be long for this world. So I'm going to move these. I can move 4 because I have all 3 of my command guys in attack positions. So these 2 are going to move here. Oh, and that part of the building, of course, is a mess too. A mess. Yeah, I mean, everything there is at risk of getting a disruption token. So I move those 2, and I move these 2 as well. So those are the 4 I move. This guy can go anywhere. I'll push him over here. And now I have 4 actions. Oh, I can't even attack with all 4 of these because I have to do a command action. Yeah, I don't want to risk all these disruption tokens. We'll just move that guy up there. Yeah, I realized there was a suppression token there. That was from when I recovered chat last turn. All right, I'm going to... I don't want to move these guys there, and then if it happens to get attacked and everyone, then I'm already risking all my anti-tank guys about to get screwed here. So we're going to do a command action with that dude. What's your name? Afanasayev. So we're going to do 1 recover action on Chernigalov. We're going to do 1 recover action on Chekhov, and we're going to actually unexhaust him as well. So he's ready to go next turn. He's too strong not to have available. I have 3 more actions. I'm going to do an anti-tank action with these dudes. I'm rolling 3 dice. I don't have the guy with Inspire. So we're going to try to knock off the Panzer II on track 1. I rolled a 1-2-5. What is happening? I'm rolling so bad. I mean, the nice thing is, as long as there's a space, I mean, the things really do need to be forced forward, which I guess makes sense, like military tactics. You're not going to want to get that far ahead of the rest of your unit. So that's fine, or unit, or whatever, division, whatever you would call it. And then I'm going to do a recover action on Pavlov because that seems like it makes the most sense. All right, so these 4 action tokens come off. These 3 recovery tokens come off. We're going to do the Soviet card phase. 1, 2, 3, 4. Please give me a flotilla. Thank you. So we're going to do the flotilla action, get this food into here. We're going to do a command post action. And, oh, I have 4 of these. But the fog of war, obviously, again, 4 doesn't do all that much for us. I'm going to do the command post action. Sure, we're going to get some, more sapper tokens. A med pack, maybe. There's already a food there. Yeah, I'll do 4 sapper tokens and a med pack. The munitions, I'm obviously not using that much as it is. I don't have the mortar guys out, and that's fine. And then I'm going to do the command post action again. I'm going to, since the flotilla is open, that's open, I'm going to remove ammunition, food, and a med pack from the game, and we get that operational support card that's going to be scored at the end of the game. Next one is grain elevator. Again, if I get the 62nd Army Command Post card again, I can remove 1 ammunition as long as that the same things are open, and I get 1 point for that. So obviously not a major point score, but considering I haven't done any of the storm groups, I will take as any points I can get. So what's happening here? We have the Germans coming at me hard. Oh, attack building. All right, they can't attack the west part of the building, so God, I really am trying to get some of these sappers in there to start to increase these defenses again. Where are they attacking? They're attacking the east side of the building. They're rolling 3. Any of these is a 6. It is not, so they missed there. We're attacking building again. Again, not attacking the west again, so we're attacking a 5. So and rolling 3 dice. Any of these is a 6. It is. This goes down to 5. And last but not least, we're placing a rifleman. I have no suppression tokens, so it's going on the board wherever it is. It's going to go on to 3. So this moves down. That goes there. Soviet counter phase. I can move 4. All my anti-tank guys are exhausted. Crazy thing is almost close to clearing that out anyway. So I'll leave the gunner and Chekhov there. I'll try to wipe out both of those dudes. Question is, do I want to move anybody? And I think the answer is no, I do not. Alrighty then. So what do we need? I have 4 actions. I'm going to do a recover action with Pavlov, or a command action with Pavlov. Allow these 2 dudes to recover. Oh, I want the one with the inspire to recover, obviously. And then I want a 3rd thing to recover. I will have this other anti-tank dude recover, because why not? I'm going to now do an action with Chekhov. He's rolling 4 dice, and we're going to try to kill that dude. Ugh. I rolled a 1, 1, 2, 3. Wow, I needed the 4, and then I'm going to roll these guys. So neither of them have the inspire. We're only rolling 2. I need a 4 or higher to kill the machine gunners. I mean, I guess it probably would have been made sense to go after the machine gunners with Chekhov, but it doesn't matter. I missed them anyway. No, I don't want that guy to push. Yeah, we'll go after that guy with these guys too, just because we're trying to prevent 3 from getting pushed into Pavlov's house. I'm only rolling 2 dice. I rolled a 5. I did it. I did it, kids. Wow, this is really bad. All right, we're going to take the command tokens off. We're going to remove the action tokens. We now go to the Soviet card phase. We have 2 fire wars, which is super unlucky because, you know, we could have done 4 things. Flotilla. I think it's important to try to get these guys in because we need to get our defenses up. That's really bad. And I will do with my 2nd and last action, 62nd Army Command Post. Yeah, what's an anti-aircraft going to do for me? I'm going to remove this from the game. I get this operational support card. And we get another card. It's the Zerzinski factory. As long as this is clean, and that's cleaned up, you can remove 1 of each kind of stock token from the game, and you can get 4 points. So obviously I would need to get a sapper and another food supply into my stock to even be able to do that. That is fine. Soviet cards are going to go here. We would have to do the storm group next turn. That's probably not happening. I think Chekhov not being able to wipe this dude off is yeah, Chekhov not rolling a 4 or higher is probably the nail in the coffin to this storm group card. That's going to be really hard to pull off. I mean, I could make a desperation attempt at it, but it's not going to be easy. So what are we doing? We're placing a machine gunner. Well, this is probably going to solve any of my questions here. Oh, I rolled a 2, so machine gunner goes here. That moves closer. What do we get? We're placing a tank. Don't roll a 1 or a 2. I rolled a 6, so that's a Panzer 3, or Panzer 3, 14th Panzer Division. And this board's getting crowded. We're bombing. So bombing 3, or 3 planes. So they're rolling 3 dice. The first bomb goes to 9. 9 is full, so now 10 is disrupted. Second plane rolls... It's a 13. 13 gets a disruption token, and the third plane rolls a 9, 10, 14. So we just remove that token there. We no longer have 4 options in the Soviet card phase, which is fine. We haven't been able to get 4 actions anyway. So, and there are 5 Fog of War cards in here, so that's a little bit of a problem because we are going to have to reshuffle this. I'll just reshuffle this now for next turn. We were at the end of the deck anyway. What am I doing? So resupplies, what I have 5, I keep counting the number of units. Sorry about that. It's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Yeah, so 2 units might have to go bye-bye. Do I try to get to a place where I can do this storm group? I might, man. I'm just angry right now. I rolled so bad. So I can move 4. All right. I'm going to move these 2 up into here and move this guy out into here. So that's 2 movement. I can move 2 more. Nah, it's not gonna work. This is dumb. This is really dumb. I mean, this is a disaster. And I'm just kind of risking it. Oh, and that's, I mean, not to mention that this is also, like, seriously risking some badness. All right, movement's done. I have 4 actions. I'm going to recover Pavlov. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to try to defeat that dude with Glashenko. He's only firing 1. So I need a 4, 5, or 6. Why? I rolled a 1. Of course I rolled a 1. Well, I'm committed. It is what it is. Yeah, so I'm not going to be able to do the storm group either, so forget those points. But I went for it. I probably shouldn't have. I'm rolling 4 dice to try to defeat that Stug. Yeah, at least I'm trying to maybe set myself up for being able to do the milk house at the end of this game. So 4 dice, I need a 5 or higher. Rolled a 3, 3, 3, 4, 5. That is fine. Yeah, so if I had literally rolled a 4, 5, or 6 with Plushenko, I would have been able to do the Stormhouse or, yeah, Glushenko. But it was not meant to be, kids. Not meant to be. All right, so we'll see. So now I need to really start worrying about the green and the purple fronts here. So we're going to go to the Soviet card phase. What do we get? Nice. I will take that. So we're going to do the Flaga Military Flotilla. These are going to all go into here. I'm going to do the Sappers. I'm going to discard one of these, get into the supply to increase the defense on the west side of the building. And then we're going to do the 2267 to remove this disruption token. Oh, yeah, sorry. Used the wrong kind of token. And that's fine. So only had 3 actions, only with the fog of war. Made it not matter anyway. Now we're going to do the resupply. So what's my problem is that I have only 3 food in here and I have 17 tokens. So I have to just make 2 a casualty of war. I'm going to take care of these 2 guys are exhausted anyway. So I'm just going to get rid of them. They do have the 2 of the starting units and they have the suppression ability either, but it's not like I'm doing that much anyway right now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. These 3 pieces of food, these 3 food tokens go there. This storm group card goes over there. Was not able to do it. And now we have, all right, the rail workers house. So potential 5 points. We do have to clear off the eastern front of the building. And that's the thing that we have to do. There are these storm groups, only one of those storm group cards are on the red, because again, you know the milk house is the red anyway, and those are 3. It's really hard to keep that clear, so it makes some sense. Just haven't been able to do the storm groups. I had one game where I was able to do all 3 storm groups, but then still couldn't do the milk house. I've actually never done the milk house, so you might see history in the making here, kids. We'll see. Placing, well, or you could see me lose in the next 2 cards depending on what I roll here. So I'm placing a Panzer 4. I rolled a 4. That's fine. This goes here. And I'm I'm placing a machine gunner. We're placing this where I rolled a 5. It's a machine gunner. We have machine gunner on machine gunner. Machine gunner love on track 5. That's nice. My turn. I can move 4. Not going to work. I'm going to do 4 actions. So I'm going to recover this dude. Obviously the tanks are a big problem. This dude and this dude. 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to recover Chekhov with my second action. So again, that wasn't a command action. That was just is what it is. I'm going to have to roll. I mean, half the time I'm going to roll 4, 5, or 6, right? I'm going to recover Namov to get a command action available for me next turn. And then I'm going to do 1 shot to try to knock off the machine gunners there. I need 4, 5, or 6. I rolled a 6. Yay! Look at me rolling good. All right. Clean living. That's fine. So these action tokens come off. The recovery tokens come off, or the command tokens come off. And now we go to the Soviet card phase. So 4 cards. What's happening? 2 fog of wars. I'm going to... So we don't really need to worry about food anymore. We're not eating. It just is what it is. We don't need food anymore. We're just good. I'm going to... Well... That could be interesting. Yeah, 13th Guards Rifle Division. I'm going to get myself a forward observer. So that's 3 points. I can get myself 3 more points here. I'm going to get myself Haholov. So that's 6 points I spent. And then I'm going to spend this other action on a 32nd Guards Artillery Regiment. And we're going to get that set up. Hopefully that doesn't get blown up by a German bomber. These are going here. It could be really nice. Be nice. All right, so the Germans, what are they doing? First, placing a machine gunner. We're replacing them. Not 1 or 2, please. 5 is fine. We just have a conga line of machine gunners coming down from 5, and that works for me. If you're going to roll a number a lot, you really want it to be 5. What are we doing now? We're placing a rifleman. We're replacing that. 4. So now you see how the red, just clearing that off is just so hard for that milk house run at the end. And then we're placing a scouts. We're replacing this, and not having any suppression is a problem. I just, again, so many actions I just spent. This rolling bad is, I mean, I could have gotten these mortar guys out there, used this, got a bunch of suppression tokens, and kind of really made this a lot easier, but we're doing it the hard way, kids. I rolled a 4, so now we have these scouts here, which moves everything down here. So obviously now that's a big problem. All right, we can move 4. That's not great. I'm going to move this guy to here, which moves Namov over here, and with this guy here. So that's 2 movement, because this was like a free move because he was forced out. I'm going to move Hahalov there. So that's 2. I'm going to move Sarkisson there. That's 3. So I want to move 1 more. No, not really. All right, we're going to exhaust Sarkisson, and we're going to discard this token. And now it lets me attack 2 things on an adjacent spot as long as I have line of sight. So I'm going to attack these 2 here. I roll 3 dice for each. So I'm going to attack the Panzer IV first. I need a 6. That is what it is. Can't mitigate it. Oh, 6. Done. That is huge. And now I can attack. Again, they have to be adjacent. I'm going to attack this rifleman. I need a 4. 3, 4, 5. That will do. So that worked out really well. He gets an action. I'm going to attack this tank over here with these 2 dudes. I'm rolling 4 dice. And man, it seems dumb. I mean, I still have to worry about green, right? But I'm still kind of chasing points. I mean, I'm just 2 bad rolls away from one of those guys entering. Yeah, I don't think I can do that yet. I'll exhaust these 2 guys. I'm only rolling 3 dice. I need a 5 or better. Yeah, we're going to do it on this side. Doesn't matter if you score points if you lose the game. It's solo playthroughs tips. Tips for life, kids. I'm rolling 3. I need a 5 or a higher. There's a 2 6s. Oh, showing off now. That's what I'm talking about. And then we're going to use Chekhov. Chekhov's going to attack one of those machine gunners. Rolling 4 dice. No, Chekhov will attack the scouts. Let's just... Oh, no. Let's not get unlucky. We'll attack one of those machine gunners. 4 dice. 1, 3, 3, 5. That works and kills one of those dudes. So I wiped 4 guys off the board. That's a big turn, man. It's like, definitely needed that. So I still have this command guy. The other 2 command guys are exhausted. This isn't cleaned off, so I can't do that. It's one of the reasons I was thinking about using that to knock that off, but I think it made sense to do what I did. I'll try to knock that off next turn, and you know, maybe I could try to take care of those machine gunners, you know, and give myself a little more breathing room on the green tracks. Great. So we're gonna do this. What do we get? These 4 cards, a Soviet card phase, no fog of war, but again, I don't have those 4 up there yet. This isn't cleaned. Oh, I could do that. Oh, I can get the other forward. Ooh, hello. Yeah, let's do that. So I'm going to do this action, and I have 6 points to spend. I'm going to get the other forward. What do they call this dude? The forward observer, and I have 3 more to spend. I will get... Ooh, do I want to get the mortar guys? I want to get the mortar guys. It's almost like too late for these mortar guys. Maybe not. Maybe not. Yeah, I'll get the mortar guys. Why not? Let's go nuts. So those are my 6 points. All right. Then I could try to prevent more from coming in, right? So that's more ways to try to make this work for you. I'm going to do the 139th Battalion to get this here. Oh, one of these things, when these are cleaned off, if you have a Fog of War card, one option you have, so as long as you have no disruption tokens on 14 through 17, you could discard, you could take the Fog of War card out of the deck and put it here. It's not the most efficient to do late game, but then you get to draw a 4th card. So it's interesting. I'm going to do the 32nd Artillery Regiment to get this here. And then I will do the, see, that's not, oh, I could clean that off. Do I just chase points? Sure. I would instead of placing that, I'll remove it. I know I have both the forward observers. You know, this, I'm worried that if I put that there, it's going to get knocked off anyway, and then I won't even have the action. So then I'll do the 62nd Command Post. I'm going to remove one of each of these from the game. We get this operational support card, and this goes out, and now that needs to be clear, that needs to be clear, that needs to be clear. So everything clear, I can remove one of each from the game, get 4 points. That's the Moninyev Kurgan. Doubt I'm going to be able to do that again. I just don't think I'm going to have the tokens in place to do it. I've already removed 3 ammunition tokens. Where's the 4th one? Do I have an ammunition token over here? Are there only 3 ammunition tokens? No, I've already moved. Yeah, I can't do it again. I've already moved 4 ammunition tokens from the game. So I've maxed out how many points I can get from the operational support cards, which is fine. All right. Oh, wait. I can't do that. I took 4 actions. I cheated. All right, so I am going to get those points. So I'm going to, instead of putting this dude here, because there's so many fog of wars, I'm unlikely to get 4 actions there anyway in the Soviet card phase. I will just do what I did, get those 4 points. I removed 1 of each from the game. I can't score any more operational points, as I said, because I have no more ammunition tokens, but at least we got some scores there, which makes up a little bit for not being able to do the storm group, and that's fine. And then in the last few rounds, hopefully these will stay open and I can just kind of load them up and take advantage of the forward observers that I have. All right, so we have 3 cards. So we're adding a rifleman. Where are we adding it? Adding it to 6. Rifleman. That's not great. We're bombing 3 times. So first bomb, I rolled a 9. So get a disruption token back in 10. That's rough. Second one, I roll a 14. Get a disruption token there. That does add a fire of war. And the third bomb, I roll a 11. 14. So this dude comes out because, again, 14 is full. We're going 15. 15 is full. So 15 has one of these tokens, so it just comes off. That's fine. So glad I didn't kind of waste my time trying to get 4 actions there and just chase those 4 points. We'll see if that makes sense in the end. And then the Stug 3B attached assault gun company. Rolling a die to see where we're placing this. It goes on 1. Yikes. All right, glad I knocked out that tank, and we'll see what I can do for the rest of this. So we now go to the Soviet counter phase. I am moving 4. I don't have a token there, so moving one of my forward observers isn't going to make any sense. I could move my mortar guys. These, so many exhausted units, that's the problem. It's kind of in my own way here. All right, I'm going to move the mortar guys here, which lets me move Pavlov there, and they're going to bring the mortar weapon with them. Really, I think I'm just kind of going whole hog to try to make sure I can do milk house. I don't really see another way around here. So that's move 2 because this guy was a force move. So I have 2 more moves if I want them. I don't. All right, my 4 actions, I'm going to use this command action to recover. I can't recover him because he's got the command action. I'll recover him, him, and him. Nope, I lied. I need to recover them anyway though because they're in the way. Those little jerks are in the way. Him, and him. It's a Chekhov bag for sure. I'm going to do the double mortar action, so I can do 6 suppression, and we're going to put all those suppression tokens up in red to try to clear that out and prevent placement of new infantry. I don't know how many more infantry are left, but it feels good. But then I can't attack. These guys are ready. I can move them across the way next turn. Get 1 token, try to get a forward observer over here. It's fine. I'm going to use Pavlov with my last action. Oh, I put that wrong. It's like, where's the rest of my actions? So these guys get action tokens. These guys get recovery tokens. And I have 1 more action token. I'm doing a Pavlov. He's rolling 2. We're going to try to take out those machine gunners. I rolled a 6. Those machine gunners are toast and ghost. All right, we're going to get back these 4 actions, 3 command tokens. 1 and 6 are precarious. 2 through 5 I should survive. We'll see if I can clear out that to at least do the milk house raid at the end of this and get a respectable score. So we go to the Soviet card phase. We get 4 cards. Yeah, those mortars might have been a waste of time. Doing that mortar action, or suppression action might have been a waste of time. But I got 6 suppression tokens there now. Like, if there is an infantry that goes in the red, like, I can just try to blow it out of the water. So we'll see. So these 4 cards is what we have. I'm going to do this action twice for sure. We're going to clear this disruption token, and we're going to put this here. That's important. I have 1 more action. Can't do operational support. Do I want to get, again, units are 1 each, so I could just throw a bunch of units in there. It's not the worst. This gunman, I do have the inspirational gunman dude that I have not used yet. He is inspire and a gunman. Sure, we'll do that. So I'm going to get 3 points for him and then get some more units and just try to load up chasing points that way. All right. This is done. These cards go away. The Germans are attacking. We have 3 more turns for them. Yeah, cool. What are the Germans doing? They are bombing. They're bombing with 4 planes. Please do not roll a 10. So we roll an 11. Yes, math is hard. So we have a disruption token on 11. Second plane, they roll an 11. 11 becomes a 12. Third plane, don't roll a 10. It's a 7. The flotilla. And fourth plane is an 11. 11 becomes a 12. 12 becomes a 13. Next, placing a scouts. Where are you going? Not a 1 or a 6, please. Fine. Scouts go on 2. Living dangerously. And placing a Panzer on 1. Oh, why? Panzer 3 on 1. I don't know what Panzer. It's a Panzer, as I'm assuming based on phonetic spelling here. All right. Well, that's a problem. Thanks. We are going to move 4. I'm going to move the forward observer here. So that's 1. And I can move this guy to the reserves. Yeah, I think that makes the most sense. And nothing else I really want to move here. I can move this Inspire gunman here and move Chait. He's had a rough day. We'll put him back here. Chot. And that's fine. So we're going to do 4 actions. We're going to do the forward observer. We're going to discard this. I'm going to attack 2 in my line of sight. I'm going to attack 2 on track 1, obviously. So I'm going to attack the scouts first. I need a 5 or higher. I rolled a 1, 2, 3. I'm attacking the Stug second. I need a 5 or higher. I rolled a 1, 2, 6. Wow. I'm rolling so good. Like, and by good, I mean awful. Yikes. We're still trying to clear out 3, 4, and 5, right? I think that just makes some sense. So we're going to do the Inspire guy. So those 2 are exhausted. They're going to roll 3 dice. There's 2 from the gun, 1 because of the inspiration. We're going to attack 1 of the machine gunners. I'm going to have 0 guys. I'm not going to be able to move anybody. That's so bad. Everyone is exhausted. Yeah, I think I got to get a command tie back just so I can move somebody next turn. Or my final turn. So machine guy rolling a 3. I need I need a 4 or higher. 4, 4, 6. This dude's dead. And I'm going to use my last action to do a recover action for... Now, Pavlov. It's his house. He gets recovered first. That's just the rules. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Notice I did not use Chekhov. I need some more flexibility. And having Pavlov will let me recover 3, which will give me 1 more chance to really make some things happen here. But I mean, as it is, I can't even get anyone into the green next turn. So I'm just kind of at the mercy of rolls, for real. But that will have to be what it be. So, both my forwards are exhausted. Oh, thanks. All right, Soviet card phase. What do we get? Nothing with 10 or 11. So the artillery is not useful. We're going to, I think we just chase points, get as much units as we can in the place. So I'm going to use a 13th Signal Battalion to clear that. Going to, getting a Thaga War card is just so late in the game. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. We're going to clear this. Really low on the high priority list with a 62nd Army Command Post. Unfortunately, I'm not doing much else. And then I'm going to do the 13th Guard Rifle Division. Gets 6 more points worth of units. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Lots of units. All right. That phase is done. All right. So getting down to the crunch time. I'm still worried about those 2 guys. Need to kill them if I have any chance of doing a milk house. But we'll see how this goes. Drawing 3 more cards. Infantry, suppress defender. So there is 2 dice worth of infantry in the green. They're going to try to suppress a defender on the west side of the house. What defender they're trying to suppress? Number 1. It's one of the forward onlookers. They're rolling these 2 dice. The defense value on the west side of the building is a 4. They rolled a 6, so this dude is suppressed. The infantry on the red, they're going to have a dice value of a 3. Please do not roll a 3 here. They're trying to suppress Chekhov. They're rolling these 3 dice. If they get a 4 or higher, of course, they get a 4, 5, 5. So Chekhov is suppressed. So he's disrupted. And then there's infantry have a dice value of a 1. On the east side of the building, what defender are they trying to suppress? That wasn't a roll, although I wouldn't have minded that. 5 up here with these gunmen. Which of these guys? So they need to roll. They're rolling 1 die. He needs a 5 or a 6. And he rolls a 1. So that suppression attempt fails. The armor attack, dice value of a 5. The good thing is I increased the defenses, so when this goes down to 3, it's not going to make everyone be disrupted. So rolling these 5 dice, it needs to roll a 4 or higher. It gets a 1, 1, 2, 5, 5. This goes down to a 3. There is no armor on the red tracks. We have 2 dice over here. It needs a 5 or higher. Does not get it, so the attack does not work on the east side of the building. All right, we are doing a sniper. Attacking where? Attacking in the green. Who are we attacking? Attacking this dude. It's the other forward onlooker. Rolling how many dice? 4 dice. If we get a 3 or higher, that dude is dead. Ooh, 6663. Forward onlooker number 1 is Toast McGhost. The snipers are vicious. Suppressing a defender. Where suppressing on the green side of the building was defender resuppressing. Man, I might lose both my forward onlookers. We're rolling with 4 dice. Defense is only a 3. This is not going to go well. Yeah, so we'd have to place another disruption token. Can't take it, so that's dead. So much for this being our saving grace, but it worked well once. So yeah, can't place another disruption token on a unit that already has one, and that just results in him being a casualty. Casualty is a hard word. Casualty of war. So, and the thunder just rumbled behind me as if to prove my point. So you probably didn't hear that on camera, but it's pretty epic and hilarious from where I'm sitting. So at least I'm amused. That is all that matters. Great. What are we doing now? Am I moving anybody? Well, things got cleaned out a little bit. Yeah, we're storm. Ugh. We'd have to do this next turn, right? Do I risk it, or do I try to clear those out? Probably try to clear those out. All right, Pavlov's going to do a command action, so he's going to allow Chekhov to recover, and then these 2 guys to recover. So all these suppression shells have done nothing for me. Yeah, that's probably a waste of an action. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to clear out that rifleman. It's just not happening. There's no sense recovering any of my command team because giving recover actions next turn is not going to help. I'm going to need them recovered this turn. So I'm going to recover this guy. That's my second action. And in case a tank gets placed up there, I don't want to waste them over here. What I could have done on the movement phase is move these 2 guys up here. I think that makes some sense. And then added this guy over here. And I've done no storm groups, which is very unusual again for me. I'm going to trust that Chekhov and these 2 guys are going to be able to destroy those 2 units, and that hopefully suppression will prevent any other military, and hopefully I don't get more than 1 tank there. I mean, I won't even have... What am I talking about? I'm not going to even have 5 actions anyway. And I only have 1 gun. I should have grabbed another gun at some point, because then I could have had another gun team over here, because I have the units. Yeah, I'm going to hope that I don't get a tank on the top. I mean, if I get a tank at the top, there's just nothing I can do about it. Yup. It is what it is, and I successfully did nothing. That's messed up. All right, we're gonna use these 2 actions, and we're just gonna shoot at a tank with those 2 guys. So 1, 2, rolling 4 because we have the Inspire, so the weapon has a 3. So I'm trying to take out the Panzer. Yeah, I'm gonna take out the Panzer 3, so it has a shield of a 5. 4, 4, 5, 5. The Panzer 3 is out. So track 1, even though this guy's already there, like that's a pretty safe track for me. I mean, I would need to get really unlucky for that to go bad for me. All right, so we're going to get all these actions back. We're going to do this, and that's good. We get 4 cards here. This is effectively the last round. There's only 3 cards left here, and 1 is a resupply card. What do I want to do? Well, the artillery doesn't matter for me because everything went awry. I'm going to, I don't know if there's an airplane. Again, this is where like learning the cards better is going to be good. But I can't even recruit these last 3 units because I don't have the 13th guards card. So I'm going to do remove, forget it. I'll remove it from the bottom just because. And then I'm going to do move to, I'll place an aircraft, an anti-aircraft thing. And then I will place a thing here. There's not much else I can do. Oh, not a disruption token, one of these. All right, that comes off the final 3 German cards. So I did not do this storm group, unfortunately. Oh, they go in order. Sorry about that. Infantry, suppress defender. There is 2 dice on this side. What defender are they suppressing? They're suppressing defender in 2. It's one of these guys. They're going to roll 2 dice. They need a 3 or higher because it's coming from the west, not the north. They got the 3, so I can choose which of these guys to suppress. We'll suppress this dude. Infantry up top, they have 3 dice. They're going to choose a defender to suppress. I rolled a 5. It's one of these 2 clowns. Oh, it's bad. They're rolling 3 dice. They need a 4 or higher. Yes, they failed. Yes, that's big. And then from the over here, they're rolling 1 dice, choosing a defender to suppress. They're going to suppress that guy, Mazajashvili. And they're rolling 1 dice. It needs a 5 or higher. It gets a 6, so he is suppressed. Armor is attacking building. The Panzer is attacking this building with needs a 3 or higher with 3 dice. Of course, it does it. So this guy is going to be a casualty of war. Everyone else here is suppressed. And the reason why he was a casualty of war is he already had a suppression token on him. You cannot add another one. Armor is no armor up here. Armor over here is attacking and needs a 5 or higher with 2 dice. It does not get it, so the attack fails. All right, next card, bombing. I'm going to use my anti-aircraft. So again, those suppression tokens were just, again, bad action economy on my part. So I'm rolling 2 dice because I got rid of that anti-aircraft token. I rolled a 5 and a 6. Great. So those 4 bombers are down to 2 bombers. I rolled my first remaining bomber rolls a 13. That takes this token off. And the second bomber rolls a, 11. Math is hard, 14. So we put a suppression token there that adds the last Fog of War token, Fog of War card to the Soviet card pile. And then Storm Group, this replaces this. And we have the Milk House. So we need a 30, but we definitely have a good chance. It's worth 15 points if we can pull it off. And I can only use units that don't have, they have to be not exhausted and they can't have disruption tokens. So I need to be careful how we do that. For scoring purposes, the disruption tokens are fine, but remember, I do want to have units that anything that has a storm ability, I can add 2 dice to my supply to try to pull that off. So I'm going to want to be careful about that. But in order to have any chance, I need to succeed in wiping out both of those infantry up there. So let's go for broke so I can move things. There's really no point moving anything, is there? No, I can't. This guy being disrupted means I can't take that spot. I can try to knock off, again, it's -3 points for each unit that survives. So I can try to knock off one, but honestly, I'm probably going to try to get all my storm guys available just so I can get a ton of dice here. So I don't think it makes sense to roll 1 dice to roll a 5 or a 6. The odds there are not great. So check off, please. 4 dice. It needs a 5 or a 6 to give me any chance at the Milk House. I want milk. Let me go to the Milk House. Oh, 2, 2, 3, 5. This scout is toasting the ghost. And now we're going to exhaust these 2 guys. 1 and 2. They're rolling 3 dice. We did the hard part. They just need 1, 4 or better with 3 dice. Again, it's 2 dice, and then I got the Inspire guy out there, so it's a 3rd dice. 4 or better. Ooh, 4, 5, 5. We are going for the Milk House, kids. I'm excited. And then we're going to do a recover action to get him back. And so I get the disruption token, so I have him available for the Milk House. Great. What happens now? I will read. At the end of the turn, when the card deck is exhausted, you can initiate a free storm raid for the Milk House card if there are no counters on the red colored counter tracks. There are not. So we're going to resolve it like normal. How many dice are we going to get? I am going to put everything that has the S. So I can, as long as they're not, oh, they're all exhausted. They're all exhausted. So I wouldn't have taken the disruption token off of him. I would have done a recover action on Pavlov. So now I have Pavlov, I have Voronov. So the Milk House, I need 30. And how many dice can I roll to get to 30? Now it's 15 points. So that's going to be 4 extra dice there. It's 1 point per unit that I use plus 2 dice for each unit that has the S. So that's 6 dice just with those 2 dudes, right? I mean, I'd probably want to roll 12 dice to get to a 30. I mean, it seems extreme, but like you want at least 10, right? And if you just roll bad, if I'm going to go for it, I might as well go for it. So 1, 2, so I'm going to use 6 more of these dudes. It really doesn't matter. Again, their stats don't matter. It just doesn't matter. So that's going to be 8 dice, 9, 10, 11, 12 dice, and I need to get to 30. I tried to find, this is how much of a dork I am. I tried to find like an odds calculator to figure it out, but in my mind, you're 66% likely to roll a 3 or higher on each die. And if I roll a 1 or 2, I'm likely to kind of counter that. By rolling 12 dice, I'm really putting myself in a place where I should crush this. But, you know, I mean, you've seen me roll. It's not always great. So 12 dice, here we go. Bing, you guys get to see a Storm Battle. Oh, Man, I'm so excited I just dropped the die on the floor. All right, where are we going? So I'm rolling the first 5 dice. All right, that is 15, 21. Oh, we're coasting to this, kids. The next 5 dice, that this is why I roll 12 dice. Because if I rolled that first, I'd have been crying. That's 30, 33. I'm gonna roll 2 more because it kicks. That gets me at the 38. So I didn't crush it as much as you might think I did. So I succeed in the storm group. Everything was clear, which gave me the chance to do that. And now each of those that went is going to be risky being a casualty of war. So I'm just going to go down the list. I'm going to roll a 1 die 5 times or 8 times. And every 5 or 6 they survive. Every 1 through 4 they're dead. I rolled a 2, casualty of war. Pavlov, casualty of war. 5, you survive. You survive, Mr. Bondarenko. You survive, Mr. Dovchenko. Sukba. Oh, man, they are on fire. They were so upset about Pavlov. Oh, my God. This is a point every time. Don't forget. All right, this dude's dead. And this dude's dead. All right, that's great. So I definitely rolled better than I should have there. And that's good. And now we're at the end of the game. So what are we doing? So we just have to score. What is our score? We're going to count all the points on these cards here. So that's 15, 19, 22, 23, and 27. We get 1 point for every counter that's in. So it's the eruption tokens, exhausted, it doesn't matter. I'll take all these off because I can. So how many units are here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. 1, 2, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So 22, and what was this again? 19, 22, 27. Plus 22 is 49. Yeah, 49 minus 15. It gives me a final score of 34. And according to the rules, kids, a 34 gives me an Order of the Red Banner victory. That is a major victory. I think that actually ties my high score where I didn't do the milk house, but I did the other three storms. 50 plus epic victory. One day I will overcome. But you see, like, I was, you know, if I had just been able to do another storm card, I needed to do 2 more storm cards, and it just kept not working for me. Got a little bit luckier with rolls. If, you know, a couple more of these suckers were off the table, that's, you know, take away that -6 for those 2. So, you know, it's definitely doable. This was a very weird game. Like I'm going from never doing the milk house to having a game on camera where I did nothing but the milk house. And these operational support cards, I do like these. We will come back. I can show you what I'm talking about for the future. So in the future, there are 2 more levels of play. The one is you are adding these cards, and they're all different. They're varied. They add extra abilities for the Germans to make some things harder. And then so you would just pull one. It's like one event around, and then in the most advanced game, you would have basically 2 cards active every round, and one would come off. Anyone who plays Robinson Crusoe, it's similar to that system where you are, you know, resolving events as you go, except you can't this isn't a place where you can actually take care of an event and remove it. You know, you can't take the threat off the board. It's there. It's just a matter of, you know, how are you going to deal with the extra difficulty provided to you. And when you have 2 cards that are enhancing the abilities of the German counters and enhancing the abilities of the German cards, I mean, obviously it definitely ups the difficulty. From what I read online, that last level is super, super difficult. So what I need to do though is get myself an epic victory off camera, and then I'll start increasing the difficulty here. But I really like this game. Really appreciate David Thompson again and DVG for sending me a version so I could put this on the channel. There's a lot going on here. Any questions, comments, epiphanies, please put them in the comment section below. If you are a veteran of this game and I messed up a rule, please put that in the comment section below as well. This is my first time featuring a game. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes sometimes. So if you are watching this, come back in a week, check the comment section, make sure there's not anything of import that I will note in the pinned comment below of rules mistakes that may or may not have been made. Feel pretty confident I did this right, but you know, I felt confident before. I've been wrong. Doesn't happen a lot, but it definitely happens enough. So that's about it. Do want to give a shout out to my patrons. Thank you for their support, that allowing me to get my audio and my video, the lighting just a lot better as time has gone by. So if you like what you see and you compare this to my older videos and you think it looks better, it is not just your eyesight. There have been some significant upgrades made in solo playthroughs land, and I do appreciate that support to allow me to make that investment to continue to improve the quality of the videos I bring. Speaking of my Patreon page, if you want to see what's coming up, I put a public post there at the beginning of every month to give you the upcoming schedule so you can make sure that you tune in for the things that you want to see and know what I am featuring in the upcoming weeks. The link to my Patreon page is below in the description of this video. So that is that. We will be back next week. Spirit Island, Mage Knight, and the rest of it coming out for you. I'm really excited about the things that we have coming up. And again, one more shout out, David Thompson, DVG. Thanks a lot to all of you. Thanks for your support, comments, likes. It all helps. I appreciate it. Until next time, happy gaming.